The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
I brought one other visitor, another special guest.
What the hell are you doing?
Mr. Sacco! Mr. Sacco knows you've been feeling mighty bad, so he's gonna give your boo-boo a big kiss.
Bang, 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 bang,
Showtime!
Oh, for Christ's sake, yeah. The Wednesday broadcast of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. That's what we're involved in here.
She's cooking this week. Not just temperature-wise. It's going fast. At least I think so.
Yeah, it felt that way too.
It's the slowest week of my life.
God darn it. I was afraid that I was going to tick someone off who's saying it's a slow week. Why is this so slow?
Well, the problem was on Monday, it felt like a Tuesday. Like, just all day.
Oh, that kind of set you back for the whole week then?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, the key is just to keep it going, right, Josh?
You got to keep it going. We've had bosses tell us before, keep it going.
Valuable information. From a senior official here in the building years ago. We sought his advice. He was our elder and a much more experienced broadcaster. We sought his advice, and he said, you know what, boys? You just got to keep it going.
Keep it going.
And I said, dude, that's why you get paid a pile of money around here.
That's deep, man. Thank you for that.
He even asked us once, do you guys keep it going? We do keep it going.
He did.
Like when you're on vacation, do you keep it going?
He asked us that.
We do. We keep it going.
Nice. What are we celebrating Mick Foley's birthday today or something?
58.
Is he 58?
58, Mr. Foley.
What an athlete.
Hardcore legend.
What an athlete.
One of the
And
greatest,
what a sweet person,
I was
too.
just going to say that. One of the greatest human beings, I feel
Just
like.
a pleasure.
Such a great guy.
I agree.
He's Santa.
What do you mean he's Santa?
During Christmas time, he dresses up as Santa
Oh.
and he surprises kids.
Yes, he does. And doesn't he keep a Christmas room 365 days a
he
year?
does.
Sure
He's
does.
that guy?
Yes, he
Oh, I
does.
like that guy.
Didn't he end up going through a cage once and dropping down onto the... And they threw him onto...
Yep.
Maybe. I don't remember that part, but maybe.
Didn't he have a tooth go through his nose?
I've heard rumors.
Mick Foley's 58. That's wonderful. I think we should talk about our test results right away. Josh and I found out yesterday that we are not the father.
Congrats.
No, yesterday, little old Smashley over there found something on the godless internet. Are we all prepared to talk about our test results?
Yeah.
I sure am.
Ashley found something called the Are You a Difficult Person test. I enjoy these things. We've taken the Are You a Psycho test. What else have we covered around here?
Wasn't like how scandalous are you test. It was like, have you had sex in a pool? Have you done this or that?
Kind of like how slutty are you or something like that.
That was the most recent one, was it not?
Yeah, we did that one with Chris Cluey, remember?
Say again?
We did that one with Chris
right.
Cluey.
I'm just asking if that was the most
Oh,
recent
yeah.
one that we did or if there's one since.
When Warcraft was in here, that sounds right to me.
That seems like just yesterday, or does it, Ashley?
Right.
Here's the message that Smashley sent us. Hey, yo. Which was totally unnecessary.
Oh, I actually
Hey-o.
liked it. I thought of changing mine up because sometimes when we're on a group text, I'll say, hey, guys, or sup. So I'm going to add hey, yo to the mix.
It's a good one.
I don't like hey, yo.
You don't?
Put some extra
No.
O's on it.
Unless you put it this way. Hey, yo.
There we go.
Right, Wapple?
yeah.
There we go.
All right. Hey, yo, people on Twitter are talking about the Are You a Difficult Person test. And then Ashley goes on to say, I took it already, and it took 5 minutes. And then she said, here's a link to the test. And then it says, Ashley, 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. So she sent us a link to the test. It's a quiz that asks you questions in case you just want to look for it out there. Our listeners, if you want to look for it. It's a quiz that asks you personal questions like, say, do you get angry easily? Do you hold grudges? Do you think you're special or better than most folks? Do you like turtles?
I like turtles.
Do you this and do you that? They ask you all kinds of personal questions that will decide one way or another if you're a difficult person. And you answer on a scale sort of like you agree or you can strongly agree. You can disagree or you can strongly disagree, and they add it all up in that fashion.
And there's a middle, too,
Yeah,
where if you just click on it, you're right in the middle.
Oh, that might have altered my test. I didn't realize.
Oh,
that
you thought you had to click each time?
I thought you had to go one way or the other. I didn't know you could be right in Z middle.
Yeah, you could be right in Z middle.
Well, then that might have altered how I finished. We all took the Are You a Difficult Person test?
Yep.
Sure did.
Correct.
All right, I'll dump my score on you. According to my test results, and like I said, I might have done it wrong. I didn't know you could be right in the middle. I thought you had to go one way or another. The results tell me that I am an easy person to get along with. I don't exactly know what this means, but my score is 35.71%. Does that mean I'm 35% difficult?
I didn't really understand the
so.
percentage part.
Understand.
I think that's what it means.
Ashley?
I believe so. Josh is right. Yep.
35. So I'm a little over 35% difficult. I'll tell you this much. I scored high, and they categorize it out after your test is completed. I scored high in callousness, grandiosity, aggression, and dominance. Did you guys get those same kind of that pie graph?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how I ended up. I don't know what that tells you one way or the other.
I got exactly 0 in dominance.
No
Nothing.
dominance?
No, that's empty.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mine is very small for dominance.
Yeah.
Mine is grandiose. That has nothing.
Yeah, I've got nothing there either.
Nothing.
There's nothing grandiose about you. There's nothing dominant about Josh. So go ahead, Cubby. Where'd you go?
I received a 7.14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that
makes
doesn't
sense.
surprise me. You're
And everybody answered as honestly as possible, right?
absolutely.
I was kind of scared on some of them, but I thought I better answer as honestly.
Same here.
Doesn't surprise me because you are one of the easier people I've ever encountered as far as, getting along. You're not a difficult person at all. I'm not surprised that you would score very low. So 7%.
Yeah.
What about some of the categories that might be interesting?
So the only ones I had, and there's a total of like 5, I guess 1 to 5 or 0 to 5 as far as how callous you are, grandiose or whatever. Mm-hmm. So none of them got past 1. For risk taking was the smallest one of the ones. I only had 4 categories out of what, 6, 7?
There are 7 different categories. I didn't have much of a mark made on risk taking. I don't get involved in that. Okay.
I mean, it's barely there. It looks like a dot.
Right.
So I'm not even 1. I'm not even filled up on 1. Aggression, suspicion, and manipulativeness I scored in.
Yeah.
Which kind of made me feel bad.
Those are my big 3 too.
But I didn't even get. But again, it's all like I'm trying to.
Well, you don't
maybe
come off as a
10% of 1. Out of 7. I hope that's making sense.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
It's barely filled in.
the fact that you scored, you're only 7% difficult. I'm not surprised that the categories would be, very low. You didn't score very high in aggression, grandiosity, callousness. Now, I don't have any memory of you showing signs of manipulative behavior. I wonder what questions led them to,
This is a guess, but when they talk about, you complimenting people or something like that, because there's a few related to that, and maybe they consider that like I'm doing it for my own gain somehow, because they had questions similar to that. Do you compliment for your own gain?
Okay.
And so I didn't. No.
You've never struck me as manipulative. However, I'm not surprised that your score would show you to be a suspicious person.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised about that either.
Really? Okay, give me an example.
I will give you an example.
Or why do you feel that way?
Because over the years,
And why do you feel the need to bring it up? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Over the years, you have been very suspicious of people, even when they're positive. And now you're gonna follow where I'm going.
Oh, especially when they're positive. Okay, yes, you're right.
Maybe that's the way I should have put it.
Yes.
Especially when they're positive. Over the years, a boss can come into the damn room here after a broadcast and say, "Hey, you guys sounded pretty good today." And we'll say, "Hey, all right, cool, thanks." And the boss will leave, and Josh will say, "Well, what do you mean by that?" What do you mean we sounded pretty good? How come he didn't say we sounded really good? How come he didn't say we sounded great? What was that supposed to mean? We sound pretty. What does that mean? We don't sound pretty good on most days? Right? Am I right?
If he comes in and says, that's the last one is more like it, where if he comes in and says, "Hey, you guys sounded good today," then I'm like, "Oh, is he saying what he means is we don't normally sound good?"
Right. You are suspicious.
Like, why bring that up?
Especially when someone is positive. All right, so you're only 7% difficult. Anybody else want to dump their score on us and maybe some further explanation as we're discussing the Are You a Difficult Person test?
I actually had the exact same score as Josh, 7.14.
Really?
Oh, that's why you gave me that look.
Yeah.
I thought you were just impressed.
No, it was the exact same score. And he said that. My eyes lit. I'm like, what crap? Because I'm staring right at my screen right now. It says, you are a very easy person to get along with, parentheses, 7.14%.
I thought for sure you'd get like a 6.9, because that's your personality.
So, and the separate categories, callousness, grandiosity, aggression, suspicion, manipulativeness, dominance, and risk-taking. Anything notable there?
Risk-taking, 0. Grandiosity, basically 0. Dominance, basically 0. Suspicion, basically 0. The biggest one was aggression and
Do you get mad sometimes?
Aggression? I don't think so. Not really. I used to get mad all the time. I used to have a bad temper, but I've since self-corrected that situation.
Yeah, me too. Aggression and what?
Aggression and callousness. Were my two bigger ones.
All right.
But still, kind of like Josh, they don't even fill out the opening bubble.
I mean, if you're only 7% difficult, then Christ almighty.
I don't see you as callous at all. That shocks me.
Yeah.
Did anyone come near my 35%? Am I the most difficult prick in town, or what?
I had 29%.
29?
Yeah. It says I'm an easy person to get along with. I am very suspicious. Very.
What did you score on that out of 7?
Got a 4.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What are you so suspicious
That
about?
doesn't surprise me. I mean, you've been wronged in your life.
Well, who the hell hasn't been wronged in their life?
I just feel like I'm always kind of that way, so I really wasn't shocked about that, but just seeing how much it was.
That is a lot.
And then aggression was my second.
Well, yeah, you're an angry kid.
You know, if this was, let's say, pre-Danielle, your current girlfriend, your score on this would be much higher.
If you would have taken this test before you met this landlord girlfriend, I think if you were honest on the test, you would have scored completely differently. Unfortunately,
she's the best thing that's ever happened to us. Honestly, there's nothing better that's ever happened to us.
For whatever reason, when you don't have a girlfriend, you are just this little ball of hate and emotion. It's true. Wapple, are we right? What do you mean, You are a completely different.
Very strong word.
You are.
I think you've hated people around here quite a bit.
You told me once you hated me.
You did.
Well, yeah, I had good.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay, why did you have reason to hate me?
Because, I mean, you always took everything out on me at that point. And
On you?
Yeah.
BS. I took things out on everybody.
What makes you so special?
Yeah, you're not. See, that's the thing. I'm joking around. That's the thing is, I don't take things out on people, but when I have a dispute with someone, they take it personally. Do you know what I mean? Josh, do you know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
A good old-fashioned dispute with someone doesn't necessarily mean I have something personal against them.
But when it means something to someone else, you completely write them off.
When it means something to someone else.
When it really means something to someone and you don't agree with it, you write them off, and that really hurts.
You want to step outside or something?
No.
Here's the thing. Wapple, 29% difficult. Ashley?
I got 20%. 20.71. So, my biggest two were risk-taking and aggression. And suspicion is like right behind there.
How the hell did I get anything on risk-taking? I am the most risk-adverse person you could ever meet.
I only remember one question in the survey in the test about risk-taking. So anyway.
I just remember when taking the test, I figured while I was taking it that I was going to get a low score because if you don't feel like super highly about yourself, there's no way you're going to get a high score on this, because a lot of the questions were like, do you think you're better than this person? I was like,
I see what you mean.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Some of the questions were just mean.
Yeah.
Looking back on the quiz, that's a good point. If you're not really pumped about yourself, you're not going to get the highest score on this test. Yeah, because a lot of it is, do you think you're special? Do you, look down on people for certain things? Yeah.
Were you guys thinking of anybody while taking the test that would answer yes to those questions? Because I had one person in mind the whole entire time.
Yes, I was.
No, I didn't really think of anybody.
Do we know this person?
Wapple was thinking of me,
it's
obviously.
Like a Twitter person.
Wapple was thinking of me. He hates me.
I don't think that's true.
That's not.
A few years ago, the answer might have been different.
Well, so collectively, we're pretty easy to get along with,
That's good.
I think.
Yeah.
I think our bosses would agree. I mean, we don't give them any grief.
And like myself and Dana and Wapple, we've changed, I think, over the years for the better. Maybe if we all took this test 15 years, well, Ashley would have been in 6th grade, but anyway, some time has maybe made some of us easier to get along with. Some time has passed, and we've grown up and things like that. So, where can folks find this? They're busting my chops on the Twitter, not the Twitter. What do you call this thing? The text machine.
I put it up on the website, but surprise, surprise, the website is being not fun today. So
it's not working?
Our website is...
Sometimes it just lags, and it takes, even though you post things, it still takes like 30 minutes for them to show up.
People always say how great our website is.
Yeah,
I
this
know.
is the first I've ever heard a complaint about
And
it.
how easy it is to find stuff.
Yeah, it's award-winning.
The Are You a Difficult Person test. Check it out if you can navigate our website. Speaking of tests now, here's another little gimmick that's been going around the godless internet. The 2 beers and a puppy method.
What is that?
This is relationship-based, whether it be like a love relationship or a friend relationship. If you want to, it says here, reassess all your relationships to figure out which ones are still worth the time. It's kind of a dramatic
Yeah.
thought process there.
You're just not worth my time.
Can you imagine
No
sitting...
offense.
Because of this
No
test.
offense. Can you imagine sitting down and just saying, okay, hey, dude, you want to go out for a couple beers? No. I have to reassess all my relationships to figure out which ones are still worth my time. If you want to do such a thing, but you don't want to invest too much of your time in that process, they say try the 2 beers and a puppy method. It's a simple 2-question test that tells you basically everything you need to know about how you feel about a friend, a coworker, a family member, or anyone. Question number 1. Would you want to have 2 beers with this person? Yes or no? Question number 2. Would you trust this person to look after your puppy for the weekend?
That is not a fair test for me.
Why
I
is
agree.
that not a...
I'm not trusting anybody.
You don't trust anybody with a puppy?
I'm very protective over my dogs. Like, my mom is the only one that ever watches them because she's the only one that ever does it right.
Does
it right? What,
Yeah.
Look at what are people doing?
They're on very strict schedules. I don't like when someone else has my dog and they get them all wonky on their schedules.
Have you had someone use your puppy for muskie fishing or something in the past? What do you mean, does it right?
I don't know. They're on a very strict schedule.
Why is a puppy on a very strict schedule?
Puppies should be on very strict schedules.
Okay, here we go.
I think dogs should be dogs.
We've all brought up puppies, all right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that much of a trusting person. Then yeah, I wouldn't trust a lot of people with a puppy.
Oh, here's the deal. Then after what you've just said, I don't trust you to take care of my puppy.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, now my dog's gonna be on the schedule?
Yeah. If you're looking after my puppy, I want the puppy to have fun, not to be you hanging around like a drill sergeant, keeping him.
It's not playtime.
Did you ever consider that you're the one who doesn't know how to take care of a puppy?
That's not in the itinerary. That's 5 minutes over fetch time.
I hear what you're saying, though, Ashley. I've got some friends that are terribly irresponsible, and I wouldn't trust them with anything, but I still enjoy being their friend, and I wouldn't write them off just because there's no responsibility I'd want them to be a part of.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, family, too. Like, I can't trust that person to do this, but I still love them, and
Sure.
they're still, quote-unquote, worth my time.
Sure. It's interesting, though, because would you have 2 beers with this person? Hell, I'll have 2 beers with anybody.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Yeah.
I only 2.
Yeah, right. Maybe if I like them, we'll go more than 2. But, yeah, there are some people I wouldn't trust to look after my puppy.
You'd still be friends with them, though.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't a... Yeah, this little 2 beers and a puppy method wouldn't break any of my relationships.
I was, the 2 beers thing kind of gave me a feeling because on Friday I had met a friend for lunch, right? Or more like a happy hour type thing, grab some food, whatever. And he's like, hey, you want to go grab a beer? And I'm like, God, no, I don't really want to drink. But I want to hang out with you. How much information do I give him in this text? So I just sent back oh, hell yeah. So, but then I thought the whole time, God, am I going to have to get a beer? I'm not, and for the record, I'm not against people drink. It's just I don't really drink, right? I just don't.
You don't have to
Sometimes in our events, I do, at our events. And so I thought, am I going to cave to peer pressure if he orders one? Because I don't want him to order one and then sit there and go, oh, thanks a lot, dude. I'm doing only one drink.
And then if you think you do need a beer, now you have to think of what beer you want.
Oh, I already know. I mean,
okay.
I have a go-to.
Okay.
So that wasn't too worrisome for me.
You
but
shouldn't feel that kind of pressure.
I
Right?
love that.
This sounds like an episode of like a teenage show where a kid's feeling peer pressure and have a beer at a party.
I thought I'm damn near 50. I'm feeling peer pressure. So what I did is I just did some of that crocodile.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
You know, the stuff that makes you, and bath salts.
Oh, yeah,
Takes
smart.
the edge off.
Turns out we didn't drink anything.
Peer pressure still
Well, I didn't think it did.
still nipping at you after all these years.
I did tell him, I'm like, no,
I don't want to wait
to. You go ahead.
for my life.
Are you Dawson's Creaking me?
Yeah. That's very Dawson's Creek. You're
I know.
40. You're a grown man.
I know.
I went out with a buddy the other day, and I didn't drink a damn thing. It was
Did,
weird.
did your buddy give you crap at all?
No. He don't give a rat's
What
ass.
time was it?
It was noon. It was
Okay.
hotter. It was noon. It was hot out, and we were sitting outside, and I just didn't feel like getting started on the hooch just yet. He had like 6 margaritas while I sat there. I drank water. I didn't feel like drinking yet, so I said, "Go ahead." He paid the tab. Hell, I didn't know. I sat there and drank ice water. Noon, 90 degrees. I'm not ready for a.
You didn't want a nice marg?
No.
I can't imagine him sipping on
would
a
be
little
so
margarita.
Dude, if you ever hear me say marg,
That sounds like something that Dana would say.
For the record, is Waffle abbreviated that, not me.
You guys want to go out for some margs?
well, I think we know where
Or
Waffle
Rita's.
got it.
You guys want to go out for some Ritas?
If you ever see me with a marg or a Rita, slap it off the table and tell me to go home.
This person says it's not peer pressure, it's beer pressure.
That's interesting, Cubby.
This person says, what if your buddy wanted to grab a beer and a hand job? Would you give in to peer pressure then? Absolutely. That's not peer pressure, though.
It's just being a good friend.
Yeah.
That's
And
obligation.
I didn't give in, but I just wondered if I was.
There's all kinds of things happening around here. 2 beers and a puppy.
I'd trust all you guys with a puppy.
Well, we take good care of your...
Would you really? Every damn last one of us? Even after what Ashley said?
actually, I'll take Ashley out of the equation.
Oh my gosh. I just like to feed them on time.
I trust the rest of you guys with dogs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
are
that's
my
true,
dog.
man. I've got one that has
What up,
3
dog?
feet, so.
Yeah,
That's
right.
probably a good call.
Yeah. I don't, because if I left my puppy with Ashley, I'd come back and they'd have a paw missing because she let it eat itself off.
Yeah, Ashley, I'm sorry. I'm not leaving a puppy with you.
Is that why your
I
dog's
understand.
on a strict schedule? Because it was eating its foot?
Yes, exactly, Waffle.
Yeah, where's the
Kinda makes
strict
sense.
eating schedule? Your dog had to eat its own foot
Now we're going to eat our own body parts between 3 and 3:15.
while chained to a clothesline in the middle of Wisconsin or wherever.
Oh, no.
Did your vet ever tell you why that happened?
She's an inbred, so it's a thing. It's with her head. It's in her,
Not the smartest dog
yeah,
in
it's
the
all
world.
in her genetics.
And you said, "Oh, I can relate." Sure.
Yeah.
Does that mean Dana's
That makes
soon going to
sense.
eat his foot?
Yeah, it is. I found out I'm never leaving a dog with someone in particular a few years ago. Oh, damn, this was an absolute disaster. Maybe we all should think a little more about who we leave our pets with when we go out of town and whatnot, because this is back when I had that old dachshund. Josh remembers Ozzy.
I loved Ozzy, even though he ate my stepdaughter's face.
Tried to.
Oh, that's that one. Yeah.
He did try to kill Josh's stepdaughter. Ozzy was with me for 19 years, that sumbitch.
Gosh,
a hell of a run.
way too
Stubborn,
long.
German, blind, deaf dachshund bastard that he was.
And
19
that was a
years.
pet sitting incident.
Yes, when it tried to
yeah, because
kill your.
he used to come over all the time when you were out of town and never had an issue. Until the face eating.
Until the face
Dang,
eats.
that-
You got into some of my
That was
crocodile.
good. That's why you put him on a schedule.
And it probably. Will you stop with this schedule? The dog was 4 or 5 years old at this point when it tried to kill Josh's.
Was that it? Really?
Oh, I don't know how many years ago. He was maybe a little older than that.
Oh, so this must have been 2007 when this happened.
Yeah, so he was probably 7 or something like that. He lived forever, but
Yeah, he sure. What did he make it to? 14?
19.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 19.
Wow.
So maybe it was because he tried to kill your stepdaughter that I had to find a new place to send Ozzy when I was going out of town.
That's exactly right. Yep.
And like I was saying, ask a lot of questions before you leave your pet with somebody. And this was someone that I knew very well and trusted, but you never can tell if they're going to do the right thing. So suddenly, I don't know where the hell I was out of town. I'm getting phone calls saying your dog is so sick. And I'm calling back. What's the problem? Oh, he's just spraying diarrhea all over my apartment. And I said, well, Jesus, what the hell is going on? I said, he never gets sick like that. He never has diarrhea. She sends me pictures now of diarrhea spray on her carpeting, on her, kitchen floor, on her bed. Like a hose was turned on. And I said, well, what is happening over there? Well, I don't know what happened. I'm feeding him all this healthy food, and I said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Oh, I decided I didn't like the type of food that you sent with him, so I went to the doggy health market, and I got him this canned, cold, supposedly all natural. And I said, what are you, a moron or something? You don't just up and change a dog's diet like that. He's sick. You made him sick. He's not used to eating kale and artichokes or whatever the hell. So that's what got him sick. You don't do that to a dog. Of course
Poor
he's
guy.
spraying diarrhea. She sent me a photo of the dog. The dog had a look in his face like it was saying, why me? He looked miserable. He was covered in his own diarrhea.
Oh, poor guy. That's
So,
not fair.
I was shocked that she would do this.
Yeah, I would never expect someone to just go out and change my dog's diet.
I
That is
said,
weird.
keep him on his schedule.
Speaking of gastrointestinal stuff with your pets, our new dog, I've never heard a dog fart as loud as him.
Oh, has he got some good ones?
It's unreal. It's great comedy.
Yeah, I bet it's funny.
I've been tempted to tape it, but I thought maybe that's too gross.
Definitely.
We could use a new Costco fart.
It's silly. I've never had a dog. I don't get it.
Dude, that's a great idea Wapple just came up with, despite the hatred between us. record. We could use a new fart for dad fights. Maybe you need to record one. I hate dog farts, but if we can use it on the radio, I'm all for it.
Gosh, they are the worst.
Josh is following the dog around with the phone on record.
Does he act surprised every time it happens?
No, he must be used to it.
You ever have one of those dogs that goes, "Hey, what was that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Who's behind me?"
That's so great.
Which one of you did that?
Did somebody step on a duck?
Dental Babe Sheezus says, great time to tune in. The first thing I hear is there's diarrhea all over the walls.
Well, when isn't there?
I love it when people text in the first thing they hear and it's just something so disgusting.
All right, well, this is where my day starts.
That's kind of the style of fun we deliver. Look, we got to take a break. You're a terrific crowd. We'll be right back on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
They want to glorify the fact that they're criminals. It's dumb. These guys are dumb. They deserve to be tossed under the jail just for being dumb.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, here we go. You know, earlier this morning we were talking about this, we were talking about that. One of the things we discussed is the two beers is how you say it, the 2 beers and a puppy test. And it's supposed to gauge how well you trust someone, whether it be a girlfriend, boyfriend, a platonic friend. Is that the right word, Josh?
Yeah.
What you do, they say, is you just ask yourself 2 simple questions. Would I have 2 beers with this person? And would I trust them to take care of my puppy? And if you answer yes to both of those questions, then there's someone that your time would be worth spending with them. If you think you could have 2 beers with them, if you trust them to take care of your puppy, then they are worth your time. We started talking back and forth about whether or not we would trust each other to look after a puppy. Got a text message from a listener that simply says, I want Nick to watch my cat so he can forget about it. And I'd completely forgotten about how once I completely forgot about a cat when I was in charge of caring for it.
Thank goodness it was a cat.
Right.
Because if it was a toddler, that would be trouble.
This was quite a few years ago, and yeah, I mean, this guy called me out perfectly. A number of years ago, a girlfriend of mine was leaving town for a few days, and she said, hey, if I leave you a key to my townhouse, would you go check on my cat, feed my cat for a few days while I'm out of town? And I said, absolutely. 4 days went by. I'm driving down the road, and it suddenly dawned on me, oh, my damn. I had completely forgotten that I was in charge of caring for this cat. 4 days.
Oh, thank God it was a cat.
The gal was coming home later that day, and I thought, oh, my damn. I can't believe I just completely spaced it. I went cruising over to her apartment, and when I unlocked that door, that cat about climbed up my pant leg. It was so friggin' hungry and so thirsty. I felt like an absolute pile of garbage.
Did you tell the girl? I can't remember.
Yeah, I told her after a certain amount of time. I said,
yeah.
I almost starved your cat to death while you were in St. Louis or wherever the hell you were at.
Nowadays, that could have been bad. She could just look at her phone and check up on the front door and see if you went over.
Oh, the ring cam?
The doorbell cams and
I mean,
door alerts, sure.
When I walked in the door, it was meow, meow.
Saying, where the F were you in cat language? I used to be a professional pet sitter.
You were a professional pet sitter?
Yeah, I sure was.
Tell me about this.
A friend of mine was a pet sitter for a woman who's a flight attendant. And so she was gone a lot. I mean, I'd say 2 weeks out of every month at least she'd be gone.
Sure.
He ends up moving with his dad out of state. And
your pet sitter friend was a dude?
Yes. And so he moves out of state, and the woman was desperate she needed somebody. So I thought, well, yeah, I can fill in until you find somebody. And she never found anybody. So I ended up doing it for years.
What were you looking after?
It was a bird who ended up dying when I was there once.
Oh.
It was just because it was old. She told me it was going to happen. A fish, a dog, and a cat.
Did you have to put the bird in the freezer for her?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
You remember
I
me telling
remember that.
That's
now.
a normal thing.
Yeah, well, I also remember that because my grandma also did that too.
Yeah, and the reason is she was on a trip, for work, and she had told me, listen, the bird is bad, and she was the biggest animal lover I've ever, even more so than you, Ashley. And I knew this was going to not go well if the bird passed when she was gone. So I was praying it wouldn't happen when I was, it was my watch. And unfortunately, it did.
One day you walked in and he was laid out on the bottom of his cage.
Yep, that was it.
And you called her and said your bird is dead, and she said put him in the freezer?
Yeah, she wanted to say goodbye. So
Did the fish and the cat and the dog get a pretty good laugh out of the bird dying?
Well, I put them in the freezer as well.
Oh,
So
you
they could
did?
be together. It turns out that was a bad idea. They all froze to death.
I bet you the
It was
cat.
a big freezer.
The cat kind of under his breath. The cat went.
I thought I was going to eat that thing.
I'll take care of that.
That's right. I remember that now when you were.
It's bigger when it's warm out. Jesus said he sold his dead bird to a blind kid. Didn't its head fall off?
Yeah. I remember that kid. His name was Petey, I think.
That ain't right. That just ain't. Let's fire things up here in the stupid news with a story that has social media dorks torn. Some say it's a prank. Some say it's straight up satanic in nature. Satanic. What we're talking about here is video footage of so-called witches eating a dead deer carcass in the woods. And this was way up there in British Columbia, Canada, don't you know? Some gal up there supposedly captured this footage on a camera she set up near her house. The gal that got this all on video, she goes by the name of Coronea. And she told the local news, I don't know what the heck was up with this. It really freaked us out. It's not something you see every day.
It is terrifying, but probably a prank.
Hopefully.
She found a deer carcass on her property. She and her damn grandpa lived together, I guess. They set up a camera to watch what animals might do to the dead deer. All right, she and her grandpa, bored. Let's set up a camera and watch woodland critters feed on a deer.
That'd be fun, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm telling you, nothing but fun. They say they got a bobcat on camera, which was pretty cool. Huh? A bobcat. But then Grandpa saw these supposed witches pulling legs and insides out of this dead deer and appearing to eat it. Ugh. The witches were all dressed like cave women, like loincloths. They're topless. Messy hairdos like they live out in the wild.
Scantily clad, you'd say?
Yeah, they definitely look like they've been through some stuff.
Here's Coronea talking. She says, Grandpa told me he got naked people on the camera. And I said, no, you didn't. And he showed me. The apparent...
Wouldn't that make you nervous if Grandpa says, I've got naked people on camera?
Yes.
These apparent carcass eaters, I guess they showed up about 10 minutes after sunset one night. One of them pulled a leg off this deer and brought the hoof up to her mouth like she was preparing to eat it. Coronea said, I don't know if she was kissing it or smelling it or eating it, but to touch a decaying carcass like that makes me sick, the amount of bacteria that must have been on there. She was creeped out because this effing scene took place just a couple minutes away from her house. She feared for the safety of her horses. She hopes the incident was a prank, but she's not sure.
Oh, I would have a lot of fun, like, going through the woods. I'd be trying to find these witches.
You wouldn't chase down the witches.
Well, in the daytime. So they don't come out in the daytime, right?
I don't know. I met a couple of sisters who said they were witches back in the day. Kind of scared me. I was a very little kid. It worked.
Yeah, I bet it did.
I got to hear more about this. So, like I said earlier, social media dicks went mental about this. Some claim it was a prank. Others say there was a satanic or paranormal vibe at work. Some said these topless, raw venison eaters were skinwalkers or Wendigos. And the story says those are both, quote, malevolent supernatural entities associated with Native American folklore. I haven't heard too many stories about skinwalkers or Wendigos.
Whoa, dude, skinwalkers are creepy.
What?
Wasn't there a movie called Skinwalkers?
Yeah, there was.
What do you know about skinwalkers, Wapple?
Not much. Just Google images, and it is spooky.
That is very spooky. You are correct.
My hairs are standing up and sent a chill down my back.
Ooh. You were pretty scared, huh?
Frightening.
Oh.
It is frightening. Sound like the Three Stooges there.
Certainly. Josh, you met a couple of women when you were a younger man that claimed to be witches?
Yeah, there was a couple of girls that worked at a movie theater right by this grocery store, or not grocery store, but like a convenience store, a PDQ that we used to hang out at as kids.
You're a friggin' witch, but you're working at the PDQ.
Well, no, they worked at the movie theater.
Oh.
And so they came over to get like some Pop Rocks and a New York Seltzer. I don't know what they came over for, but they were over there, and we were sitting around, and they had told us they were witches, these couple of sisters, and we believed them, and we were terrified of them. To this day, I still get the shivers thinking about them.
Well, that's not right.
And the hair stands up on the back of my neck. And all the other stuff Waffle said. Frightening.
While we're talking nonsense here, there's a T-shirt shop down there in New Orleans, Louisiana, called the NOLA T-Shirt of the Month Club Shop. It's a hell of a title there, isn't it?
A little long.
They must not be selling many T-shirts lately because they're claiming that a ghost visited their store a few nights ago. If you've never been down there to New Orleans, they've got a collective boner for ghosts. It's kind of
that way.
It is kind of a creepy town. Everything's older than the damn hills. They've got above-ground cemeteries and such, but they dig that kind of a thing. They've got a ghost boner.
Aren't they into voodoo and stuff a lot, too?
Oh, don't even talk about that, Wapple. You're in trouble now.
Uh-oh.
Now, I watched the video of this supposed ghost in the T-shirt shop, and I didn't see jack squat. The owner talks about how a door opened, quote, unexplainably. Well, one explanation could be the wind.
That's how I would explain it.
Another could be a poorly hung door. And then she talks about a supposed orb flying around the store. Yeah, like, say, maybe an insect might do.
Yep.
This is up on 93x.com.
I get that on our cameras, where it looks exactly the same as in this video, just a little white orb, and it's just some disgusting bug.
Don't watch this video on 93x.com. But hopefully it creates some business for this T-shirt joint, because this is one of the weakest examples of so-called evidence of a ghost I've ever seen. Nothing was moved or touched in this store. I don't know what they're trying to do here. I mean, other than sell T-shirts.
Now, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but is it possible?
Neither am I.
That wind opened the door and a bug got in from an open door. All I'm asking is that possible?
I don't know.
Neither of us are trying to be pessimistic. The lady who runs this T-shirt shop says, I hear footsteps a lot when nobody's there, and sometimes the lamp will turn off unexpectedly. Oh, Josh, don't you love lamp?
I love lamp.
All right. I think I've heard this slogan before. Tell me if I have this right. The boss makes $1 and I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
I love that saying, yes.
This is my favorite story of the day. This guy is my favorite. A fella in China has been fired because they say he would spend 6 hours in the toilet every day during his 8-hour work shift.
How is that even possible?
It's a good shift.
This dude's got life nailed. But they fired him. What's the problem? I don't know.
Why would they do that?
Maybe he has a condition.
Just in the bathroom. You know, I'll never forget my old dad. When these things would happen to him, the things he'd say to me. Wapple set me up.
What would he say?
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom day and night? Why don't you get out of there and give someone else a chance? I got him, Cubby.
Yeah, I know. I like it when he gets got.
God, I love that movie.
This Chinese fella, Wang is the name he goes with. The guy with the 6-hour bathroom breaks at work. He got canned, like I said, and it sounds like he took his company to court over his firing. But the court somehow ruled that his daily toilet breaks were not within reasonable or normal physiological needs. This is great that it went to court. The judge is, hang on, let me get this straight. 6 hours out of 8, you're in the John? Wang says he's got stomach problems, and that's why he's in the John all effing day long.
If that's true, that would be absolutely awful.
He says he had surgery a few years ago, and his stomach problems forces him to sit on the throne and let her buck for 3 to 6 hours every day. He's just pounding out turds.
That's his life. His whole life is in the bathroom.
Yeah, that guy can probably never be more than 10 feet away from a toilet.
That's what Wang says. But the company said that old Wangski, they're not putting up with him anymore. The company says he was in the crapper 20 times in an 8-day stretch at one point. The court ruled that Wang's firing was, quote, legal and justified. I don't know. I don't know if Wang's making this up or what. But 6 hours out of 8?
Your phone battery isn't even going to last that long.
Yeah, what are you going to do that whole time?
Oh.
Would you bring in your Switch, Dana? Make a little
absolutely.
Zelda?
Uh-huh.
God dang it. You know what's funny? Recently, maybe I can find this for you. Recently, I stumbled upon some goofy topic of funny lines people have when someone knocks on a public restroom door when they're using the toilet. Some people have some cute lines. I never thought of it. And I've spent, Josh knows this, I've spent a great majority of my adult life in a public bathroom. But I've never come up with anything cute to say back to someone. The only one I can think of off the top of my head was, so there you are. Picture yourself sitting on the throne and someone comes knocking on the public bathroom door. Someone says this every time, get a warrant.
Good.
I've never heard that. That's really good.
Come back with a warrant. That's great. Maybe I can find that for you someday. There's a giant symbolic turd laid out on a beach in Australia. Maybe you want to check that out.
That's on our website, is it not?
Yes, it is.
It's not an actual butt baby. It's not a real human turd. It's actually made of what they call here rescued plastic. And it was dumped at a place called Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. And this is to send a message to folks about recycling. This past Monday was World Environment Day, and we forgot all about it.
I celebrated.
What did you do for World Environment Day?
I went outside with some hairspray and just kind of sprayed it all around.
Oh, smart.
There's no such thing as the environment. The media made that up. I'm still trying to find these funny lines that people say in the crapper.
I'm sure I could find it for you.
This giant fake poop was there to give folks a heads up is how you say it, on environmental issues. On a web page, a New Zealand-based company called Better Packaging. They're the ones who came up with this publicity stunt. They said, we're kicking up a stink because humanity has a problem. We just can't seem to stop making more and more new plastic. Most of it never gets recycled, and far too much of it ends up in our oceans. So that's why they put it on the beach. They said, basically, we treat plastic like we treat This giant poop represents the amount of plastic that enters the ocean every 30 seconds. It looks just like the popular poop emoji that had everyone thought was so cute here for a couple of years. The poop emoji, everything was a poop emoji.
People are getting those hats at the state fair.
Mm-hmm. One of those things almost killed me from a heart attack a few years ago. when
Is this a real one?
No, speaking of the state fair, a buddy of mine goes to the state fair one night. He plays 9-ball or whatever, and he wins like a effing 10-foot tall poop emoji. That's what he won. And he, I was already in bed. It was a weeknight. He swings by my place all stealth-like around 1 o'clock in the morning, and he props this poop emoji up against my door with the big googly eyes, right?
Scary.
Looking directly into my home.
That's a good prank.
And so I wake up at, 3:30 in the morning for work, and I'm wandering through my house, and there, it almost killed me dead of a heart attack seeing this massive thing peering into my window, my front door.
This is great. A texter said, I had a guy come into the bathroom once, sit down in the stall next to me. It was real quiet. And then he goes, player 2 has entered the game.
I would have lost it.
I have the article.
What else is in there,
it's
Jeff?
tough to find some funny ones. But this one said, password, please. Then whatever they say, just respond, access denied.
Oh, so they knock on the door and you say, password, please? That's good. Well, there you go. Oh, here, I found it. They quote local comic Mitch Hedberg, who passed away many years ago. On the bathroom door of the public toilet, Mitch Hedberg used to say, go around. That's good. All right, fair enough. There weren't too many good ones there, were there?
No, there's not.
Come back with a warrant was the easy winner there. I'm happy to shift the topic from feces to women who masturbate while in the shower. I'm happy to change to far more interesting topic. By damn, it is.
There's a former coworker of ours who would discuss that, but hers specifically was in the hot tub, where she had a boyfriend named Jetty who would take care of business.
I can see that.
I've known a few gals over the years who would talk about how they enjoyed positioning themselves under the faucet in the tub in order to rub one loose.
I've only had just the one tell me about that, but she was very open to discussing all that stuff.
Is this the same gal in the hot tub?
That's the only one, yeah.
I've heard the detachable shower head is also very popular.
Right. The shower head
Never
thing.
had one of those.
Detachable one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a couple things I don't think I have either.
They're
about a
great
penis?
stories. Pardon me, penis?
Yeah, detachable penis.
I know that song.
Yeah, I've heard some stories, and they're enjoyable. So this is nothing new for most of you, but apparently the first ever shower head made specifically for masturbation has been created, and it's going to be released, I think I have this correct, by the brand Womanizer.
Oh, nice. They're great.
Are they great people?
Yeah. They make really good toys.
They put together a solid masturbatory tool.
Yes, sir.
I'll
Do you
take
have
one
a favorite?
masturbatory tool, please.
I think it's just called the Womanizer, like
Womanizer.
2.0 or something. Yeah.
This one here, they say, is called the Womanizer Wave. They say it's a shower head created specifically for jilling off.
Let's check this bad boy out.
The story here refers to women as, quote, vulva owners.
They do own them.
Here's some more wacky-ass info I can dump on you. In the United Kingdom, 61% of women have already masturbated in the shower or bathtub. Already? Yeah, okay. Many remember doing it at a young age. Nearly 2 in 5 women wail on themselves in the shower at least once a month. A gal named Elizabeth Newman, she's a sexologist and the head of user research at Womanizer. She says by leveraging the power of water, anyone can now enjoy a fully immersive and satisfying self-pleasure experience in the privacy of their own shower.
I wonder what this does for your home's resale value. Does the realtor put that in the description?
Good question.
Do you like masturbation? You're going to love the ensuite bathroom.
It looks very basic.
You're basic.
They say the Wave can also be used for a normal shower experience. Where was this a few weeks ago for Mother's Day?
Mom, look what I got you.
So anyway, gals, look this one up and then step into the shower and destroy yourselves for Daddy. You think that's something you might purchase, Smashly?
No.
No?
No, but I feel like other shower heads are more, I don't know, useful. It seems very basic.
I don't know what you mean by basic.
It just,
Like, don't they just have a bunch of holes where water comes out?
yeah, it doesn't even have that.
It doesn't? Yeah, it does.
What are you looking for?
Oh, I see. If you scroll down on the on the article I was reading, they have the shower adapter and the hose. Like, you can buy them separately. So I was looking at the adapter, and it looks like just a basic, like, metal pipe. I was like, how is that?
A metal pipe?
No.
Now I'm looking at it. I can see that being
pleasurable.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I own a vulva? No, I don't have one.
Vulva owners are loving it, they say. All right. There you go. Well, The Wave by the people at Womanizer. We'll close her out here. This video is a lot of laughs. Everyone should see this. It's a video of a gal who got her yoga pants sucked smooth off of her body by one of those effing treadmills. This is very funny.
This video is on 93x.com. I can't stop watching it.
You got to watch this one.
I feel bad for her, but it is a funny video.
She's at a neighborhood gym in Illinois, and they got the security cameras rolling, don't you know? And she took a terrible tumble on the treadmill.
Oh, yeah, she got worked.
And ended up with her leggings or yoga pants, whatever the hell they are. They ended up around her damn ankles, exposing her little bottom.
Yeah, she had, like, the barely underwear.
Yeah, that was barely any undies on her.
It's almost too perfect.
It's like just the threshold where we can post it. There's next to nothing there.
Her name is Alyssa Conkle. She's a 26-year-old gal. She said, I was just running at the gym and my pants got sucked off.
Sucked off.
She had reportedly set the machine to a level 10, which she called very fast.
Damn, why is she sprinting?
Who goes at level 10 on the treadmill?
Not me.
If I want to die.
I'm just a walker, not a runner.
If you watch the video, all of a sudden she trips and falls on the still running conveyor belt. She's trying to grab onto the handlebars. I mean, it's just a desperate fight for life. And then the treadmill ends up pulling her pants right on down. And like you guys were discussing, her little thong underwears are all that are left on her little hiney. She gets back to her feet. She pulls up what's left of her pants. I'm guessing a few cement head gym dudes must have run over to help her.
I would never go back.
I'll tell you what. That stupid treadmill remodeled the skin on her legs pretty good.
Oh, really bad.
Her legs got skinned up.
Ouch.
She said, I hurt myself. I hurt my face, my lip, my knees, my shins are skinned.
Yeah, she smacked her face real good at the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
She was embarrassed and she left immediately.
I think I probably would, too.
I wonder if she had clothes to change into, or if she showed up to the gym in her gym clothes, you know? So she just had to walk out in that tiny pair of undies she had on.
Well, she pulled her pants
pulled
back
them back up.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Did you think somebody stole them?
Well, no, I thought it like completely. I thought it completely sucked them up, like they were. Just,
You were thinking they actually like an escalator would.
Yeah.
No,
So
no. They just went down to her ankles.
They're a part of the machine now.
I thought the machine completely sucked them up.
They got sucked off, not sucked up.
Copy.
It's unclear here in the story on if she ever plans to return to that gym or when she's planning to start up her OnlyFans page.
The other woman in the video, it cuts off before she starts to run over to help, and then she turns around real quick, and I'm wondering if that was to save the woman embarrassment. Because it was all over by the time she turned around, acting like she didn't see. I've done that.
Yeah, same here.
Pretend, didn't see anything. No reason to be embarrassed.
Yep.
I saw a video recently where a gal was wearing some kind of a skirt that buttons all the like a jean skirt down to about her knees, and all the buttons are in the front skis. You following what I'm saying, Ashley? You ever worn one of those where the buttons are in the front of a jean skirt type of a setup?
Yep.
And she's like, hey, let me show you what I used to do as a college cheerleader. And she does the splits, and the skirt just goes pop, pop, and there's just nothing there. She what do you call this here? She did the splits, and it just blew her jean skirt across the parking lot.
Oh, no.
City Guy Jesus brought up the same point. He said it's funny if you watch someone try and run over to help until they see your pants and then see that she's fine, that there's a quick turnaround. Yeah. It's got to be, right? Just like, oh, I'm going to pretend like nothing happened.
It's a hell of a video. Check it out.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Today's show is brought to you by Wednesday. Hey, do you like hump day? Then let's go back to my place and...
Can I hump your leg for 15 uninterrupted seconds?
It's Wednesday, right?
I think so.
Hump day.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Hopefully we'll have a dry hump day.
It's not really... Oh.
I love to hump.
It's what day?
Hump day. Middle of the week.
Hump day. The
Kale,
things you learn.
That?
I've heard of hump day, but never meaning that it was the middle of the week. I mean, it gives me
something Frank told you.
Because that's for us, it's Thursday, all right. But I never knew it was middle of the week. And welcome to the show.
Oh, man, I hear you on all that hump day talk. Did we cover this yet? We were talking about cute lines you can throw at people. If you're sitting on the throne in a public bathroom and someone comes knocking at the door, we got a couple of great answers from listeners. What did the one dude said? He was sitting in the public john. Another dude came and sat in the stall next to him. And when the second dude sat down, he said what?
He said, player 2 has entered the game. And the guy who texted in it said it was completely silent. And all of a sudden he said that. That is a genius line.
Now, my favorite was if someone comes knocking on the door at the public john, you say, come back with a warrant. That's great. Come back with a warrant. But this is real simple. Who is this bricked my pants Jesus? He says a fun line he uses in the public crapper is when someone knocks, he says, come in.
Come on in.
Somebody else said, hey, it's getting kind of crowded in here, but come on in.
I dig it. Twins got totally pumped. Ooh, last night in their series opener against Tampa Bay. Totally pumped.
That was brutal.
7-0. Lineup didn't get much done. And the Rays disposed of the Twins quite easily. The game was only 2 hours and 7 minutes long. That's how you know you got pumped. That game was over quickly. The same two clubs go again tonight. We'll see what Pablo Lopez can do against the Rays. This time, I believe I have it right. The Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets are actually going to go through with Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. I thought it was last night. I was talking it up yesterday. It wasn't last night. It's tonight, 7:30 on Channel 5. Live from Miami. The best-of-7 series is tied at 1 win apiece. Stay tuned for Josh's news report.
They want to glorify the fact that they're criminals. It's dumb. These guys are dumb. They deserve to be tossed under the jail just for being dumb.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
We made USAA insurance to help you save. Take advantage of discounts when you cover your home and your ride. Discover how we're helping members save at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
It's becoming too common where they're joyriding. They're putting themselves in danger. They're putting the public in danger. These aren't the first time for some of these kids that were in that car. As early as last week, we know that there's been interactions with law enforcement for the same type of behavior that we've seen today.
The driver of a stolen SUV that led authorities on a high-speed pursuit through Minneapolis on Monday was just 12 years old. According to the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, 6 juveniles were detained following the pursuit, which ended in a violent crash that disabled 2 vehicles, destroyed a bus shelter, and injured 7 people.
There was a vehicle and multiple juveniles that were involved with multiple gun-pointed incidents in which people were robbed.
Besides the 12-year-old driver, sheriff's officials said the others inside the stolen vehicle were ages 14, 15, 15, and 16. Authorities said the vehicle was tied to multiple armed robberies, attempted robberies, and carjackings that triggered Monday's pursuit.
That's heartwarming, isn't it?
Yeah, 12.
Why don't these teenagers do what I do as a kid and just steal cars in Grand Theft Auto?
Leave it in video games?
Yeah, leave it in video game form.
A 52-year-old man suspected of car theft is in custody after he fled police by jumping into the Mississippi. St. Paul police said officers spotted a vehicle just before noon yesterday that was reported stolen out of Minneapolis. The driver fled the area. Later that afternoon, members of the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office saw the vehicle and tailed it. But the driver stopped, got out, and ran into the river. Fire crews from St. Paul and Minneapolis used rescue boats to search for the suspect and were eventually able to get him out of the water.
Man, that's pretty old school on his part.
Yeah, he wanted to get away.
When you're trying to avoid authorities, you dive into the river and see where it takes you.
New video shows more moments from an altercation between a driver and a state trooper in Minneapolis Monday morning, with the suspect ultimately fleeing across multiple lanes of traffic and escaping in a separate vehicle. Just after 6 a.m., the State Patrol said the trooper stopped to help a driver during the busy morning rush hour near the Lowry Tunnel. The two are seen talking before the suspect is taken to the trooper's squad. However, the suspect begins to fight, then breaks free and sprints across multiple lanes of traffic. At one point, a red pickup truck narrowly avoids hitting the man. The suspect is then seen getting into an SUV as a passenger, with the SUV driven away on the other side of 94.
Oh, did he have someone there waiting for him?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
Yeah, it looks
He
like
flags him down, kind of.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too, because I mean they drive away so casually, like they know the guy.
Maybe the driver was like, "Oh no way! I went to high school with that dude." You know what I mean?
Like maybe he didn't see all the commotion with the police officer and thought like, "Oh, this guy needs help."
Hey man, how you been?
Maybe the guy who's driving's also a criminal on the runs. Like, come on, I'll help you out, man.
Yeah, I'm on the run too.
Yeah. Sure. He's like, "Screw the cops, let's go."
I mean, yeah, it kind of seems like it was pre-planned, but I also, like you said, Ashley, I wonder if he just said, hey, car broke down on the other side. You can see the cops, they're trying to help out.
Oh, yeah. He's chasing him down.
Just trying to get some curly fries at Arby's or something. I don't know what happened. The investigation is ongoing.
It's ongoing.
Traffic, that video's on 93x.com as well as this one. Traffic video from the Minnesota Department of Transportation shows a person on a scooter driving the wrong way on a busy metro road Tuesday morning. This is one of the sit-down scooters. The incident happened in Brooklyn Center in the area of 694 and Highway 252. At first, the scooter operator is seen driving the wrong way on the highway before eventually being chased by law enforcement on the correct side of the road.
He was weaving in and out of traffic, and I can't say enough about the police.
At one point, it appears the suspect ditched the scooter and tried to flee in the trailer of a passing truck. However, the driver of the truck pulled over to the side of the road for troopers to nab their suspect. Police confirmed a person on a scooter was arrested. A drunk driver was arrested late Monday night after driving on the wrong direction of Highway 212. A 911 caller reported to Chaska police the whereabouts of the drunk driver who was heading on Highway 212. While in the westbound lanes of traffic, he was going east. An officer pulled the driver over after catching up to the car. The Chaska Police Department called it a dangerous encounter, given the oncoming traffic traveling in the officer's direction. The department said an observant 911 caller can save lives and cited this incident as case in point. Without the call, the department says this type of impaired driving can lead to tragic outcomes. The driver was arrested on suspicion of being intoxicated. He blew a .18. A Florida man reportedly fell asleep behind the wheel over Memorial Day weekend with his vehicle in drive, his foot on the brake, while in the middle of the freeway. The sheriff's office received a call shortly before 3 a.m. Saturday, May 27th, about a pickup truck stopped in a freeway lane blocking traffic. Deputies approached the truck and found the 21-year-old driver passed out behind the wheel. Inside the vehicle, they found a 12-pack of Twisted Tea on the passenger side with only 6 unopened. He told deputies he had just one drink while at a strip club. However, police said he reeked of alcohol and his speech was slurred.
So it was hooch related. Do you guys know anybody who has real issues falling asleep at the wheel? And I'm talking about stone cold sober.
I used to.
Yeah, I used to really bad too.
I've never had a problem with that, but one of my buddies, it's straight up frightening how easily he can fall asleep behind the wheel. Now, I haven't been in a car with him in years. He got married, made a bunch of kids, and moved up north. But when we were young, it was incredible how easily it could happen.
Dang. That's scary.
More than once, like a 20-minute drive.
Wow.
I've looked over and said, hey, you know what I mean? Real serious. What is that, narcolepsy? Is that what that is?
Could be, yeah.
Josh, you used to have problems with. I remember you telling a couple stories about that.
Yeah. Well, my lifestyle. I would not go to bed when I should go to bed. It was just staying up late, early 20s, that kind of thing. Yeah, I had a little bit of that necrophilia for a while.
And this buddy of mine, what did you call it?
Where you fall asleep, necrophilia. Like I was kind of really into it for a while.
To take your word for that sounds kind of. This buddy of mine, as a fully grown adult now, I mean, he still. I bet he's the type that's never seen a doctor for this. But he just slugs gallons of coffee to keep him going.
Yeah, thank goodness that hasn't happened to me since I was maybe 20 years old. But thankfully, I can fall asleep in an instant. Like at night, whatever. If I'm going to bed. Yeah, I'm very lucky because I know, Nick, you're the opposite. You lay there forever.
Absolute. I was with Josh one weekend. He fell asleep on a ladder. He was in the middle of doing something, and then he just... No, I have real problems with sleep.
Yeah, that sounds miserable.
Still to this day, you can just be asleep?
Yep. But I get to a point, like at night, where I have to go to bed right then. I mean, I just know I got to.
Or you're going to just collapse?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to do it right this second.
My brother.
And it comes out of nowhere sometimes.
My brother and my dad have that skill. I didn't get that skill. My dad can say, "I'm going to sleep," and he's out. I don't get it.
I feel lucky. I feel lucky for sure. A Florida woman was arrested Friday after stealing an ambulance with an employee inside, and then she crashed it twice.
Oh, no. While there's someone in the back?
Yeah, well, luckily the person got out before the crash, the first crash. Deputies said the woman stole the ambulance around 1 p.m. with the employee in the back.
We possibly have someone in this ambulance that is being in there against their will in this single-town ambulance, correct? That's correct.
The employee was able to get out of the vehicle shortly before that first crash. While deputies were searching for the ambulance, the woman was involved in a hit and run. A little while later, she crashed again. This time, the ambulance crashed into a tree.
Dan, Cubby, are you sure you have necrophilia?
Yeah, where you fall asleep, like I've been told before. I'm really into it.
Okay, because people are texting in and saying that necrophilia means you like to have sex with dead bodies.
Oh, I don't think so.
That can't be it.
I don't think that's it.
All right.
At all.
Well, I don't know. That's just what a couple people are saying.
I'll look it up afterwards.
Okay, after the show.
Maybe find some videos on it.
What have I done? A Rhode Island man is facing 4 felony charges after breaking into homes to steal sex toys to give as a birthday gift. I've always wanted a recycled sex toy as a gift.
Cheap bastard.
Police were dispatched to a home about 10:45 p.m. Friday for a report of a suspicious person. When they arrived, a resident stated while he was getting ready for bed, he observed someone standing outside on top of a chair to try and get in through his bathroom window.
Stated that while getting ready for bed, he observed someone with a flashlight or phone flashlight trying to get in his home.
The resident told police the suspect apologized and said he just went to the wrong house before leaving in a vehicle. When officers approached the scene, they observed 32-year-old Benjamin Nedrowski, who matched the description of the person trying to break into the home earlier that night. Police say that person had a flashlight in his hands and was going through a dumpster. When taken into custody, the man said he was attempting to buy weed, but said he realized he was at the wrong location when he was chased off by that homeowner. Detectives then confronted him about 3 other breaking and entering incidents from the prior week. He admitted to entering a home May 27th and said he stole a sex toy from the bedroom. When questioned further, he also admitted he broke into another home and stole 2 more sex toys from separate bedrooms. He then told police he didn't steal any items of value from the residences, only women's sex toys he said he intended to give to someone as a birthday gift.
This guy's something.
I'd love to know who he was going to give them to and what the reaction would be. Deputies in Tennessee arrested a 42-year-old woman after she fired a shotgun at a garbage truck last Wednesday.
Why would you do that?
As 2 sanitation workers drove up to a house on their route, they noticed Teresa Reynolds sitting on the front porch with a shotgun in her lap. According to the workers, she shot at the ground near the truck. Then she started yelling, took out an iPad, and asked the workers if they wanted her to record her shooting at them. The 2 turned the garbage truck around in the driveway to leave, but as they drove past the house, she shot the passenger door. A SWAT and crisis negotiation team arrived and eventually took Reynolds into custody. What
Sounds
the
like
hey?
Something out of the Hatfields and McCoy's rivalry or something.
Yeah.
And here we are in 20 plus 23.
Yeah, just sitting there on a chair on the front porch with a shotgun in her lap. You're right. A Florida man's accused of dumping nearly 5,000 pounds of trash on the side of the road. That's a lot of trash.
Didn't you ever do that after a big kegger at your house?
No.
I had a buddy who his parents were on town for the weekend, had big long weekend party, and then we had trash bags filled and we had to get rid of them. So one guy's like, I'll take care of it. I thought he was gonna go toss it in a dumpster behind a fast food joint. He threw it in a field. Day or two later, cops show up at the kid's house. His parents are back home, and they go. He goes, "Hey, here's your trash. Illegal dumping ticket." They found a beer-soaked Sports Illustrated that got thrown in the garbage, had the address on it, and then the cops brought it back to the house. And that's how he got busted for having a party.
Dude,
that's awesome.
That sucks.
And people say cops don't do any real work. I mean, that's...
They're because multiple bags, they're digging through it, trying to find some type of evidence of who dumped them.
That's so good.
It's just the dumbest thing ever.
I bet that was so fun for those cops just to show up. Dang, that's fun.
Yeah, when we were kids, that was our move. After the big high school kegger, you bag it all up and take it to the dumpster down the street behind the pizza shop or whatever. Mm-hmm. What a bunch of douchebags.
There's a kid in the neighborhood just graduated from high school, and a couple weeks ago, they were having a party at his house. And I'm assuming the parents weren't around. I'm assuming they were out of town, because I drove in to work on the way in and the way back. Nothing had been cleaned up. Beer cans all over the place, and I've never seen so much vomit in the middle of the road. I should have took a picture of it.
Some folks just went ahead and puked in the road, the young kids.
And that night, I'd seen just cars all over the place. I mean, it was a huge party, right? And the evidence was overwhelming the next day. And unfortunately, people threw up right in front of the house. So I'm wondering how much trouble that kid got in.
Weren't those fun days? Oh, pull over! You know what I mean?
So back to this guy who dumps about 5,000 pounds of trash on the side of the road. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office said it began investigating after it was learned Stephen Walters was illegally camping in the area. Deputies said Walters left large amounts of trash, bicycles, tools, and other garbage at the site. During an organized cleanup, deputies and community members said they removed nearly 5,000 pounds of garbage from the property.
For the $75 he could have dumped that trailer, this is probably going to cost him $800 to $1,000.
The owner of the property told deputies they didn't give Walters permission to live on or leave trash at their property.
Kind of a dick move, huh?
Yeah. The 93X Half-Fast Morning Show Booze Cruise is back. We're floating down the St. Croix River with Stillwater Riverboats Friday, June 30th with drinks, free food, and music from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., sponsored by Anytime Bail Bonds. They join us every year. Love having those guys aboard. The only way to get on the boat is to win tickets. Plus, it will be Dana's birthday, turning 38.
38.
Woo.
38.
It's monumental.
And this is what we came up with. If you dress like Dana, we're talking jorts, maybe some Bills gear, a bandana. Although I haven't seen you wear a bandana in a long time.
Yeah, I've been going with snapback hats lately.
Yeah, I've seen that. You got the backwards cap going on.
What kind of prize is there if you dress like Dana?
Yeah, I'm just getting to that.
Yeah.
Free cupcake.
A cupcake?
From Thirsty Whale what? Barky?
Ooh.
Bakery. They wrote Barky. I should have changed that. Thirsty Whale Barky.
Put it on the teleprompter. He'll read anything.
I know. You know what's funny is I edited the one yesterday. I forgot today.
So you look like a douche all day long, but hell, you got a free cupcake. Yeah.
Free cupcake, and they know how to make them over there. Arnold Schwarzenegger's new docu-series Arnold makes its Netflix premiere today.
Didn't you say you watched that already?
No, Fubar is what I watched. Oh. His relatively new show on Netflix.
You're an Arnold fan.
I love him. The series is told over 3 parts, specifically him on film, I should say, and follows Schwarzenegger's journey from bodybuilding to Hollywood to the California state capitol.
You can get an injury, then all your athletic stuff is over. But the only thing that no one can take from you is your mind.
Arnold Schwarzenegger terminated his box office competition.
I was looking for another challenge. Politics. Let's get to work.
The new series comes out shortly after the release of his Netflix comedy series Fubar, I was just mentioning, which sees him as a secret agent who recently discovers his daughter is following in his footsteps.
All right, greatest Arnold...
Terminator 2, probably?
Yeah. Worst Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
The one with the alligator. Not Equalizer. Eraser.
Never saw it.
I'm sure there's one I'm missing, but... Okay. I didn't care for Eraser too much.
There's an alligator on the loose?
Yeah, like an alligator or a crocodile. Something like that. And the animation was terrible. So it's more like some of the CGI that was pretty bad. Now on Disney Plus and Max, the streaming debut of Avatar: The Way of Water. Then tonight on FXX, the season 16 premiere of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Game 3 of the NBA Finals on ABC. The Nuggets and Heat tied 1-1 going into tonight's game.
You want to know what Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? One of these situations where you watch it as a kid and you love it, and then you watch it as an adult and it's a pile of feces.
Yeah. What's that?
Commando.
Oh, I really liked Commando.
Commando is feces. Except for the gorgeous and lovely, what was her name? The lead actress, Tommy Chong's daughter.
Boy, I don't remember.
Ray Don Chong. Remember her?
You know, a lot of the movies, if I watched them now, I probably would think are terrible. But I sure did like them growing up. Because more are coming to mind that, now that you think about it. There's some pretty bad ones in there, but I did like them. As I mentioned, lots of birthdays today. Michael Cera from Arrested Development, Superbad, 35.
Love him.
I know you do.
Who?
Michael Cera.
Haven't seen him in years. What happened to him?
Oh, he's still doing stuff.
Good question, I
Is he
guess.
working with
It's been a while.
Schwarzenegger?
He'd be lucky if he was. Former SNL cast member who stars on HBO's Barry, Bill Hader, 45. Carl Urban, Dr. McCoy in the new Star Trek movies, and Billy Butcher on Amazon's The Boys, 51. Former Jane's Addiction and Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist Dave Navarro, 56 today.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. Wrestling legend Mick Foley, 58.
That's just outstanding.
And America's favorite Northern Ireland badass, Liam Neeson, 71.
Wow.
Happy, quote, vague and forgettable 38th birthday to babyface destroyer Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Fans, now coming to pitch for your Bananas, a former 3-time Major League All-Star, a World Series champion, and a Cy Young Award winner. Please welcome Barry Zito!
You want to talk about a heck of a surprise? How about Barry Zito coming in for the Bananas here to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning?
There you go. Former big league pitcher Barry Zito suited up for the Savannah Bananas the other night.
That's on my bucket list to see the Savannah Bananas.
You want to go see them live and in person?
I would love to.
Yeah, I bet you'd have a blast, Cubby. Barry Zito, terrific left-hander for many years. He had a big Bert Blyleven type curveball. I feel like I've got that type of curveball that Zito and Blyleven could throw in the big leagues. Didn't he end up making some kind of soft rock record or something? Remember that about Barry Zito? He thought he was a singer. And maybe he was a good singer, but I thought he tried to break into the music business. As we welcome in our friends here, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. What's going on, you guys?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I thought for sure Barry Zito made some kind of, who's that guy like? Who's that soft-singing acoustic guitar guy that everyone seems to love?
John Mayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He did? Mm-hmm. Was it just garbage?
I don't remember. We played it. I was trying to see if we had it in our system still. I don't see it.
He was always a little off.
Was he?
Yeah,
is he
I mean,
kind of a weird guy.
Kind of a little bit. Yeah,
He was a little different, was he, Barry Zito?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember towards the end of his career, he was showing up at coffee houses with an acoustic guitar and singing songs about how you should talk to your daughters or something. I don't know what his.
He's got a recording studio in his house.
What?
His uncle is actor Patrick Duffy.
Oh, really? From Dallas?
Yeah.
There's a resemblance there.
That's not right. Maybe he's more legit than I'm giving him credit for, but I just remember chuckling back in the day, seeing Barry Zito up there on stage. Ah, damn, here we go with the boys.
I wonder who the best athlete/musician is. Chris Kluwe? Former Viking punter Chris Kluwe?
Wow, dude, that's a tough question.
You've heard? Isn't Lundqvist the
He's a great guitar
goalie?
player, yeah.
Yes.
Is he really? Is he?
Oh, he's good.
He's good?
Yeah, I've watched some of videos with different bands.
Henrik Lundqvist, the former goalie. I mean, Shaq can rap.
And he can DJ.
He
Right?
can DJ.
Oh, forgot about that.
Who? What?
That's a great.
Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq, I remember hearing his rap records when he was still a player. I thought he was good. I mean, I don't know jack squat about rap. I only know about 4 songs in the genre. One of them, of course, being the Humpty Dance.
Now you can see him at like Electric Forest and EDM shows and
That's
stuff like
so
that.
crazy.
Where he's making like $1 million for the night.
I can't imagine, usually when you're at those festivals, you're on some type of drug. I can't imagine being in the crowd and all of a sudden Shaq pops up. There's no way this is
You think
happening.
this drug is way better than I thought?
Yeah.
He also likes to go into the crowd in the front row, too. So you could be in the front row and then look over and Shaq's right next to you.
Dude, I'm so scared.
I got a couple
We've got
for
the
you.
answer here from the Brotherhood.
Who's that?
The best athlete/musician, Jericho. Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
That is a talent. Oil Spill Jesus said Zito was on The Masked Singer and he went pretty far.
Did he?
Yeah, I guess so.
I've been around basketball players, obviously, but I will tell you that standing next to or around Shaq, he looks gigantic for some reason compared to other people. I mean,
what do you mean for some reason?
Well, I've been around other 7-footers.
Oh, sure, you have.
But
It's pretty well documented how big he is.
He's just a massive person.
He is.
I saw him at the Mall of America surrounded by a bunch of Bloomington police officers and his private security, and he's still like a foot taller and 3 times as big as all of them.
Shaq
Not
is.
just that he's tall, he's just massive.
He's freakishly large. I mean, Ashley, if you went to see him in concert, you might just get caught behind his ear or something, you know. You're such a tiny little... I just thought of a couple of musicians, I should say. That's not the way I should say it. Josh brought it up. A couple of athletes. You know, you were asking, what athlete is actually the most talented musician of all the athletes who have tried music? You mentioned Jericho. Hey, I love Chris Jericho, but I saw him in concert once. And
oh, really? Oh, no, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I hope it was just an off night.
2 guys that I remember hearing multiple people credit for being really talented musicians, and they were also great athletes. Bernie Williams, who played center field for the Yankees for how many years when they were winning titles in the 90s and the early 2000s? Bernie Williams.
Yep.
I think he played the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're right.
Josh, you should maybe look him up. Being a
I haven't heard him play.
Being a guitar guy, I heard he was just terrific. And the other that comes to mind that I've heard multiple musicians and athletes say, these guys could have made it all the way, you know, in the music business, even if they hadn't been an athlete. And I believe he died young. Wayman Tisdale.
Oh, the basketball player.
What did
You're right about that,
Did he
too.
sing? Is that what he did?
I think he was a bass.
He played guitar as well.
Okay, I thought it was bass guitar.
Bernie Williams would, now that you bring that up, I remember hearing stories. He would go, when they would go on road trips and stuff, he'd try to find the jazz clubs in the cities that he would go to and ask if he could come and play with who's ever playing there.
Okay.
Bernie? He also did the national anthem on the guitar at the Twins last season.
Who? Bernie Williams?
Bernie Williams did, yeah.
Maybe I was there for that. God dang it, I was there for that. And Wayman Tisdale, and I think I'm right about that. The poor guy died young.
Yes, he did.
He was a terrific basketball player in college, I think, at Oklahoma.
That's correct.
Played for the Sacramento Kings, and and I understand he was just a wonderful guy. Also, Wayman Tisdale. But I hear he could. Was it the regular guitar or the bass guitar? Wayman Tisdale, Dana. I thought you said guitar.
Oh, I was talking about Bernie Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Wayman Tisdale played.
There you go. That's a fun topic. Now, I'm sure we're missing some others. But let's not deny Shaq back when he was performing with Foo Schnickens. Anybody?
No.
No.
Back in the 90s, no one remembers that he how do you say it in the business? He teamed up with a group of rappers called the Foo Schnickens. I think I have that correct, and they were very good.
Well, I know he had a video game called Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu. Mm-hmm. Oh, Cubby, what about Manny Pacquiao?
He does have a beautiful voice.
When Manny
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
You know what? Even if he was a terrible singer, go ahead and insult his singing and see what happens. That guy knock your head off. Remember when he did La Bamba?
No.
What a talent.
He sounds great, but when he sings Sometimes When We Touch by Dan, who sang that song? Dan, come on, 70s guys, Randy Shaver.
Fogelberg?
Not Dan
No,
Fogelberg.
it wasn't Dan Fogelberg.
It was Dan somebody. When Manny sings that one, I mean my underwears get loose.
Dan Hill?
Dan Hill.
Dan Hill.
My pants come off when Manny sings.
Your pants come off anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Especially when he says, and I have to close. The way he says close. draws me in.
John Gruden can sing too.
Yes. Happy birthday.
You
One of his
dick.
favorites.
I think we've got that track somewhere.
You dick. When
Hey, you know who you're missing?
Who?
The 1985 Chicago Bears.
I was going to bring those up, but I was going to mention those.
The Super Bowl Shuffle.
People are saying Justin Tucker can sing opera.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
The
not sure.
updog guy.
Oh, the punter
Yeah, I remember we played him
from the
one
Baltimore Ravens. I did.
The kicker, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, kicker. Right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's a
kicker. Someone texted and said Doug Flutie knows how to play the drums. I don't know. Justin Tucker. Someone just said one a minute ago, and then we went away from it, and I thought I had a. Did someone say someone?
No.
Here's my favorite hit from Justin Tucker.
Who said
Guys,
so?
smell that? Smells like up dog. What's up, dog? Nothing much, man. That's how it is.
The dude's hilarious.
He is. Oh, Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, he had records.
Yeah, some country music.
Yes.
He did sing. He did sing in the 70s. Terry Bradshaw. God dang. So much talent. Well, speaking of all this cross between music and athletics, let me go this way real quick. I can't say I'd be able to pick her out of a crowd, but it was just not that long ago. We were talking about, I know a few of you dig her, Taylor Swift. Okay? Mm-hmm. You dig that Taylor
I think you'd be able to pick her out of a crowd.
I don't think so, Randy.
I think you could, yes.
Why do you say that?
Because I do. I think you would pick her out of a crowd.
Oh, I've never seen a Taylor Swift video, nothing. Never, not once in my entire life.
I'm sure you've seen Taylor Swift in your life.
She'd be surrounded by 20 of her security people, so you'd be able to pick her out.
Trust me, I don't know who Taylor Swift is by appearance. I don't. Josh is showing me pictures of her right now. She doesn't look familiar at all.
You must have seen her.
I'm sure I have, but I'm talking about picking her out of a crowd. You know, I don't. Apparently, she has a new. Yes, he is my boyfriend.
What?
She goes through boyfriends.
Apparently, she has a new boyfriend.
Okay.
Well, Randy, this is the first time you've ever been lost on a Young Frankenstein reference. But that's okay, right?
When she's playing the fiddle?
Yeah, go ahead. Watch it this weekend.
Oh, my God.
Now, I know who this guy is. Austin Reeves, a player for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Really?
Yes.
That's
who she's dating
That's
now?
the story I read yesterday. And this is the second Laker she's dated, I believe. Wasn't she seeing Kurt Rambis for a little while? I thought maybe she...
No way.
Oh, no way.
Way
I'm
older than
joking,
she
for
is.
Christ's sake.
No way. God.
Apparently, Taylor Swift is dating Austin Reeves of the Los Angeles Lakers.
She
So
started
he's...
seeing Kurt Rambis right after she saw Bill Lambier for a while.
Yeah, she was dating...
Right.
She dated a few of the bad boys from the Detroit Pistons. Dumars, Mahorn.
Vinnie Johnson.
Yeah, the microwave. Because he gets instantly hot. So this Austin Reeves has apparently gone from undrafted dork to dating this gal that everybody loves and sells out arenas everywhere.
She just broke up with a guy, the singer from, was it the 1975?
Yeah, Maddie Healy.
Yeah, like very recently.
Yeah, like the same day.
Yeah, that's really interesting. He's young, 98.
Who is this guy?
Austin Reeves.
Oh, you're referring to her. Yeah,
Yeah.
Austin Reeves. Yeah, he's a young dude. He just came out of college, a couple years ago.
How old is she?
33.
Okay.
He was allegedly seen, Austin Reeves was allegedly seen with Taylor Swift in Arkansas.
All right, then.
Somebody said. I don't know who and who would care anyway.
He's from Arkansas.
Yeah. But what the hell is she doing? If I'm Taylor Swift, if I'm that big of a deal, when a guy says, hey, you want to go to Arkansas? I say, no.
Maybe her
Fly
tour.
you to me.
Yeah, maybe she had a concert or something there.
Oh.
She's on tour.
Yeah.
You got to wonder if you start dating her immediately when you start dating her, how long is this going to last? Because you know it's not going to last a long time.
Does she sift through them?
She goes through them.
She goes through.
A little bit known for that.
Song written about me.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Just make it that long.
That's kind of what people say about her, right? A lot of her songs are about some exes.
That's great.
Good for him, though. What a run he's on.
Yeah.
Why not?
No kidding. Undrafted player becomes a star for the Lakers. You're playing with some of the best players in the world. D'Angelo Russell. Nothing?
He's kind of like taking the Chris Humphries route here a little bit.
I thought that was going to go somewhere when I called D'Angelo Russell one of the best players in the world. Usually Brad pounces on that. Who did you say? Chris Humphries, sure.
Well, sure. You know, they married a Kardashian for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Ah, wow. Hey, you know, Randy Shaver, I hope you're a little better rested after your long... It's been a long week, hasn't it?
It has been.
But all for...
Long weekend.
All for a good cause. Yes. You know, this is Brad. Brad, I don't think we brought this up on Monday, did we? Did we talk about this? Brad was rubbing elbows with some former Golden Gophers at your gala on Sunday night, weren't you, Brad?
Yeah. A couple of them sat down at our table. You know, we kind of were talking to them because of the configuration of the table. I don't think you did very much, but Adam Weber, former Gopher quarterback, sat next to me, and then Jamal Shamala.
Yeah. That was kind of. I'll tell you what, Adam Weber and Jamal Abu Shamala. When they sit down at a table with me and Brad, we're still the best looking table in the
yeah.
Those are some handsome effing dudes.
My wife, in fact, on the way home, my wife made a comment about, and she rarely does this around me, so I know that she must have thought he was good looking. She's like, "Man, Adam Weber is good looking."
Yeah, he definitely is.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Ashley was sitting there too. Were you? Weber looked like more your style.
Yeah, he sat down and I was like, oh, okay, wow. And it's funny because after we left, my boyfriend was like, do you have any idea who those guys were? And I was like, no clue. And he went to the U of M, so he was like, gosh, you idiot. And I was like, all I knew was he was good looking.
So your boyfriend knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Weber was a quarterback. Well, they were Golden Gophers around the same time
period.
the
same time. Yeah, we were talking
Weber's
about that time period.
I think Weber's a little older.
Yeah, I worked at the U until 2001, and so we were kind of doing the whole timeline thing and who I knew and who they knew and stuff. And Jamal is really good friends with Ryan, and so he and I were talking about Ryan Saunders.
Ryan Saunders.
Yeah, yep.
I would like to wake up and look like either one of them.
Yeah, right.
And I'll tell you what, they were really nice dudes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a fan of both. That was really cool. I was a fan of both of them when Shamala was playing for the Golden Gophers. You guys know I'm a big Golden Gopher jock sniff, so that was pretty cool.
Those three guys, those three basketball players, Spencer Tollickson, Blake Hoffarber, and Jamal. Would always come play in my event. Now, this year, Spencer couldn't make it, but Blake was out there on Monday, and so was Jamal. So it's great. I love having those guys come back out and play.
Five-Hole Jesus wants to know who won your scrambles, Randy. Do you know the teams or the celebs?
I don't know what groups won.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, there you go.
I know there's some great scores.
Usually whoever wins your scrambles, they're about 20 under. Either 19 or 20 under.
In that range.
Is that solid? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, that's really good. You have to birdie every hole.
Yeah.
And eagle a couple. Yeah.
Yeah. In my scramble, you can't get worse than par. So if you're not putting for birdie, you pick the ball up and you head to the next hole. So it makes it move faster. So you're not going to get any negative scores. So,
I like that.
Have you ever had a pro golfer there?
Tim Herron.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say one of the years I actually played. I played with Michelle Redmond.
Yeah, she was out there on Monday. Michelle Redmond, former
was that just a
LPGA
clinic?
Star.
Oh God,
she's fabulous.
Yeah,
she's such a great person.
The talent that has come out of Wayzata High School is unbelievable. Tim Herron, Ryan Saunders, me,
Nick Bourne. Yeah,
the Barbers.
Yes, Dom was out there on Monday.
God dang it, I'm forgetting some. The talent, John Joe Frank Laurinaitis.
Joe Laurinaitis.
The younger we're going to talk about him in a minute.
What about Big Al?
Big Al. Waterloo.
It was fun playing with Michelle Redmond that year, though. I mean, she obviously was hitting every ball straight down the middle and far, and but it was fun.
Shouldn't you make them just bring out a rubber club or something to totally throw just give them a spaghetti noodle and see what they can do with it if they're a pro?
Frontal Lobotomy Jesus said Adam Weber was a freshman when he was a senior at Mounds View, and he was still their starting varsity quarterback.
He was. Adam Weber was one of the greatest high school quarterbacks I've ever seen in Minnesota.
You're a senior, you got a full beard, and here comes this ninth grade squeak. Although I bet Adam Weber was probably built a little bit different than most ninth graders.
That's a good point.
A little bit different than most ninth graders. Randy Shaver, here's something you might take note of. A fella by the name of Jim Hines, the first man to run the 100-meter meter in under 10 seconds, has passed away at the age of 76. Randy Shaver is a former track and field guy at Iowa State. When you were on the track and field team at Iowa State, did you take steroids?
Did I take steroids? No.
No?
The answer is no. Unless you count a pitcher of beer as a steroid.
You didn't drink beer before competition, did you?
Oh, God. I did a lot of stupid things. So.
Did you smoke joints before competitions?
Like I said, I did a lot of stuff.
He's not saying, he's just saying.
Damn.
He knew of people who did that. Wink,
That's
wink.
correct.
Isn't this? I love the new Randy.
Yeah, this is the close to retirement Randy.
What is the new Randy?
Well, 10 years ago, if I would have suggested that you took steroids or drank beer or smoked a joint, you would have said, I've never, ever done it. you would. You'd get all pissed off. Now you're making suggestions that you were snorting blow.
My autobiography is coming out next year.
Right.
So what difference does it make at this point?
Did you guys do crazy rails and whatnot before you? Well, this guy is a track and field legend, and he's passed away, and many folks at USA Track and Field are talking about how the sport has lost a legend.
Yeah.
The first man to run the 100-meter in under 10 seconds.
There are certain things that are milestone numbers. Obviously, I think the 4-minute mile is probably the biggest milestone number in track and field. When Jim Ryan broke the 4-minute mile, and then that became this incredible worldwide competition to run the mile under 4 minutes. But you're right, 10 seconds in the 100 meters is probably the second number that everybody talks about as being like that legendary number that you strive to get to.
He went to the Olympics a couple times, Jim Hines. He even ran on the relay team, won a bunch of gold medals. They say here, I'm not familiar with the guy, they say here after he was done with track and field, he spent a couple of years in the NFL. You would think I'd remember that guy. But
yeah.
I don't remember. Well, the Twins got pumped.
Well, the Twins are their own worst enemy, let's be honest, and they have been all season long. Last night they strike out 12 times. They now have struck out 625 times this season, more than any team, and it's not even close. And they've struck out, in the last 4 games, they've struck out 43 times.
Woo.
They're on pace. I'm reading this from the article this morning. They're on pace to set a major league record of striking out more than 1,600 times in a season. The record is held by the Cubs from a couple of years ago.
Jeez Louise.
At 1,596. So now, Baldelli is he's not trying to downplay it, but he says we're not sitting here psychoanalyzing every at bat. But I mean, that's an issue. When you're not advancing runners, when you're not getting people on base, when innings are ending because of that, or they're not starting because of that, the run production is just not been there. The pitching's been good, as we've said. It's been pretty. Varland had a tough night last night.
That's a pretty good lineup they have in Tampa.
That's a great lineup. It's an underappreciated lineup, I will say, but they're very rock solid all the way through. I mean, look at their record. I mean, they're 44-19. They're pretty damn good.
They have a great home record. They had a great start last night from this Zach Elflin kid. He's now 8-1.
Yeah, he's just having an all-star year. But the Twins are their own worst. Injuries have hurt this club, but I think more than anything else, just batted bats have hurt this club.
Now, 7-0 was the final. 7 squat. Game took 2 hours and 7 minutes. If I was a beer vendor, amazing, I'd be pissed off. Yeah, that was quick. That was a quick pumping.
That's amazing.
That's the positive part to not scoring any runs.
You're home quickly. You're back at the hotel with all the women quite quickly. Injuries continue to be a problem for the Twins. Injuries keep rolling through the clubhouse. Now Byron Buxton is on the 10-day IL with a bruised left rib.
Shouldn't surprise anybody.
He got hit by a pitch a few days ago, and they say his ribs are in pretty tough shape. Carlos Correa was back, and he did all right. So the same two clubs again tonight, 540 BSN. Pablo Lopez going to try to get something going. The Rays are going to try one of those bullpen games.
Which they are the ones that kind of established what those look like. You know, they started doing this 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, you can do that when you don't use your bullpen very much. When your starters can go 6 or 7 innings consistently, you can have that 5th day be a bullpen day because you've got guys out there who haven't pitched in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Tampa Bay is the one that created how that looks, and now everybody
wasn't it Joe Madden who started that? Was it when Joe Madden was managing the Rays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I blew
and Brad's absolutely right. When you've got starting pitching that takes you into the 7th inning, you can afford to give your starters an extra day's rest by using your bullpen guys. Yeah. And every team has a long relief guy. You know, a guy that, for example, you're down 8-0 after 3 innings, and you don't want to burn the rest of your – you know, it's not that the guy's the worst pitcher on your team. That's not the point.
Right.
But he's the guy that kind of can eat up innings for you, and he's a non-starter that eats up innings. Right. Well, those are the kind of guys you use for the bullpen games.
Yeah, kind of almost like your 6th starter in a way. Correct. The guy who's out there doing that. Yeah.
Back to a story we discussed a few minutes ago. There are websites here and there talking about how this Taylor Swift pop star is currently dating a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. His name is Austin Reeves. Catfishing Jesus has texted me to say he's not entirely sure that story is true. He says on that same Twitter page where they have the Austin Reeves is dating Taylor Swift story, it also says that she's currently dating Willens Ostadio.
No, she's not.
That would be so cool.
No, she's not. Was that Taylor saying I love turtles?
Wouldn't that be something if the turtle was going around town with whoever Taylor Swift?
So cool. Who would be next? Bartolo Colon?
Big sexy.
I mean, come on.
Former Twins, we were talking about. Former Twins. Here's one. Luis Arraez is now batting .401. He had 2 hits last night.
Amazing. 2 for 4 yesterday. It's too early to have a 400 watch for a guy. I mean, ask Rod Carew about what that feels like because he went through it, I don't know, 78 or 79 whenever he batted .388 for the season. But, I mean, to be knocking on the door at 400 in mid-June is pretty damn impressive. And you know the weather's only going to get warmer. And these guys, sometimes it takes a while for guys to get going. But Arraez has been great from the gate, from out of the gate. So,
yeah,
fun
he's
to watch.
I got to sue somebody. Everybody's suing everybody else. It's so hot right now.
Sue Wapple. I mean, you really sue somebody that they have something you want.
Hey, Wapple.
Exactly.
What does Wapple have that you want?
I'll tell you what.
You want my credit card debt, my student loans?
We got a couple of ponchos or what are those? Some
drug rugs.
Yeah, drug rugs.
I'm going to sue you for all of your hacky sacks.
My disc golf basket.
Here's the thing, Wapple.
It's a basket.
Yeah, I have a disc golf basket.
Oh, you do, dude. Yeah, you want that. Sue him.
So cute.
You would love that.
If I were ever to sue you, Wapple, you certainly put the puny in punitive damages, I think.
Oh, it's true.
A man who went to a Los Angeles Angels game in Anaheim last year is suing the team and outfielder Juan Lagares, if I'm saying that correctly.
Okay.
After he claims he was blinded in the left eye by a baseball that this Lagares threw into the stands like ball players do after
into the inning or something?
No. Isn't there I don't know if that applies to the guy throwing it back in the stands, but isn't there like if you buy a ticket and go into the ballpark, aren't you just
I
thought
yes,
so.
You are covered by that.
Yes.
I'm not so sure you're covered if the player throws the ball.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. According to what I'm reading, Brad Ryder, here's what it says. The Major League Baseball ticket terms and conditions say that a ticket holder acknowledges and assumes all risks and dangers associated with being a spectator before, during, and after a baseball game, including all warm-ups, practices, pregame, postgame, and between inning activities, promotions, and competitions.
Yep.
So basically, if a baseball whacks you in the dome, you knew what you're getting yourself into in all situations.
Okay.
Yep.
But this guy still suing the Angels. He's suing this outfielder. He's a 55-year-old guy. He was sitting in the outfield bleachers eating peanuts when the third out happens.
Oh, no.
The Lagares catches it in the outfield. He throws it into the stands.
Usually when those guys throw the ball like that, they're just like tossing it up to somebody who's trying to catch it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
usually he's not like firing the ball into the crowd.
Well, this guy claims that this Lagares threw it into the stands randomly and at a high velocity.
He just chalking
I
it.
doubt that very much.
And he
I'm
says,
hoping that deep pockets and good lawyers, because I have a feeling Major League Baseball has both.
oh, they do, don't
I
they,
would
Brad
think so.
Ryder?
Yeah.
You're right on that, Brad Ryder. He says that his eye was, quote, crushed.
Oh, okay.
Crushed by the... But this is my favorite part of the story.
Was the guy like helped out of the stadium after that happened?
Yeah, did he chill, have another hot dog?
or did he stay and watch the rest of the game and then decide his eye was...
I don't know if they hauled him out.
Okay, well, that would have something to do with it too, right?
There's some sadness here. I mean, this guy who is throwing the lawsuit at the Angels, it says here, according to the lawsuit, he attended the game with some friends in an attempt to get his mind off some recent problems. His father had recently died, and he claims he had also just been diagnosed with brain cancer.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
But the dude's lawyer gets her done. Listen to this. Do you like drama? Check this out. This is the words of this man's lawyer. This was a man who was already at one of the lowest points in his life. He went to the Angels game to get his mind off his troubles, and what should have been a good time and a diversion for him ended up being one of the most horrific experiences of his lifetime.
Oh, God.
See, that's where he's going to try to get a little bit of money out of him, is that way, not because of the physical part, I think. But,
the mental anguish.
Yeah.
All right.
We all know about mental anguish working on this show.
Dick bag.
Exactly.
Oh, God. It's too easy.
Yesterday he says, "This is the only fun that I have left in my life." He literally said that.
It's true.
This is the only place I can go for fun. Today he refers to us as mental
I'm
anguish.
Hot and cold sometimes.
Yeah.
Hot and cold.
You keep us guessing.
Friggin'
He said that yesterday, the day after, he probably had 500 people at his golf event slapping his back all day.
It's not right. All right. I think I have it right this time. The Game 3 of the NBA Final is tonight, live from Florida.
Yes, you do. You have it right.
All right. Nuggets and Heat, 7:30 on Channel 5. Series is tied at 1 win apiece. I'll be damned.
I'm telling you, it's a huge game for the Nuggets.
It's a big one.
It really is, because if Miami can somehow take control of this series and be up 3-1 going back to Denver, I mean, I think it would shock a lot of people.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Reg Dunlop said to the Chiefs, he said, "We got a good crowd out there, guys. Let's really try to win this one." It's that level of... Yesterday, ESPN television personality Stephen "By-God" A. Smith, apparently yesterday, Stephen A. said that Nikola Jokic is a, quote, big tub of lard that can't jump onto a curb.
All right.
That's insulting.
People are reacting to that on, social media. I mean, he was in a way, he was complimenting him. He said, I love watching him play, but don't compare him to Steph Curry, saying Jokic...
Two different style players.
They're
right.
different players.
He was saying Jokic isn't as difficult to guard as Steph Curry. Jokic is a big tub of lard who can't even jump up on a curb.
I would disagree. I think Jokic he may not be fleet of foot or can get off the ground like some other players, but there's a craftiness to him that you don't find very often in a lot of players, certainly not players his size.
Yeah, like you said, they're two totally different
He might be one of the best. He might be one of the best passing big men ever to play the game.
I totally agree. I think he is more difficult to guard than any big guy that you'll face.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The only other guy I would say is Jabbar. Is Jabbar, because
who the hell's Jabbar?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, I thought you were talking about current players. I'm sorry.
Well, because of the sky hook.
Yes.
It was completely unguardable. You could not guard that shot just because of the way he did that.
All right, I'm not trying to interrupt. You guys are absolutely right, and I'm not trying to interrupt our basketball talk, but I just got a text that says, this just in, Taylor Swift is now dating Randy Orton.
Wow. A legend killer?
Wow. The apex predator?
Wow.
Bob Orton?
She's fast. She gets around.
Yeah.
There's three guys in a show
she does.
right
Do
she
any
needs
of-
to make new songs.
Do any of you know how to juggle?
No, I wish.
I can juggle a little bit, yeah.
You can? Baseballs?
Yeah, I taught myself when I worked at Camp Snoopy when I'd be bored.
I'm pretty sure you juggled dildos once for me, too.
I did. I juggled dildos outside the studio. Right.
You were a manager at a radio station?
Hey, Randy, one right back at you. This show is kind of like juggling dildos. What? You taught yourself to juggle when you were working at Camp Snoopy?
Yeah, when it would be slow and I'd be at like the game with the wiffle balls or something, I'd kind of stop myself how to juggle.
That's cool.
Did anyone see the video of this Victor Wembanyama juggling basketballs?
I did.
Oh. That I cannot do.
This is up on 93x.com.
Oh, I got to check that
He's
out.
juggling 3 basketballs. He's 7'4", and they look more like wiffle balls, like Dana was saying.
I was going to say a guy that size, it's like juggling baseball.
Juggling, that's a hell of a deal. And he'll be drafted number 1 here shortly. John Morant thinks, check that video out, Randy. It's on our website. You'll like it. John Morant thinks we're all stupid.
Of course he does.
Apparently now he's saying the gun he was flashing in his latest stupid social media video, it was a fake gun. So they know it's been confirmed that it's a toy gun?
I don't know that it's been confirmed.
Well,
Claudia Jordan is her name. She's a broadcaster, and that's what she claims, that there's a source that told her they know about it.
What's funny about this whole thing is that he made no mention of that when he issued his latest apology.
Right.
If that were me, I would have said,
That would have been the first thing out of my mouth.
Right away, like within 24 hours.
Right.
Yes.
I'm burned out on that whole situation, but I thought that was cute. A month goes by. Oh, it was fake. Yeah, that's right. It was a fake gun.
Took you that long to come up with that excuse?
Right.
Good one, Ja. Good one.
Way to go, Ja. Yeah.
I really got him.
I got him right where I want him now.
They didn't see that one coming.
All right, what else is going on around here? Well, listen to this now. Friggin' young people. The nice things that are provided you these days. LSU football, Louisiana State football. They're going to use air-conditioned helmets for their upcoming football season.
I would have liked that back in my day.
How is
Actually,
that possible?
I don't like being cooled down when I'm being active like that.
Well, then LSU's not going to sign you up to play football.
I talked to other people because I always wondered if I was weird for this, but I've talked to some other people that go to the gym because they have like huge fans that constantly like blow air. And I asked, like, is it just me? And a lot of other people agreed.
I don't like fans. But I mean, how about this? Back when we were playing football, I could have used an air-conditioned this or that. LSU will wear air-conditioned helmets for all practices and games in the year 20+23. The gimmick was created by a Louisiana-based company called Tiger Air.
Cool.
They will reportedly have a 5-hour lifespan before needing to be recharged. Tiger players tried on the helmets the other day in a video. One of the players said that it feels hella good.
Oh.
I bet it does.
Yeah, that does sound nice.
Another athlete said, it's almost like I ain't sweating. It's like cold.
Whoa.
These guys aren't going to classes, are they?
No.
Yes, that's how air conditioning works.
That's how it works.
It feels air-conditioned helmets. I'll tell you what right now.
Pansies.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. How about when we were playing outdoor hockey games when I was a kid? Where were all the heaters and the this and that? All I had was my drunk mother spreading Vaseline on my feet before hockey games.
Oh, dude, you didn't have any, like, the warmers or nothing?
No. This was the mid-'70s, Ashley. There was no such thing as warmth.
Gross.
Such thing as warmth.
And you had to walk uphill both ways to the rink.
There's no such thing.
Through a snowstorm.
Through a snowstorm. Yeah.
NFL players, specifically those who play in the AFC North Division, are being picked on by street derelicts the last few days. I read that Kenny Pickett, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, got his car stolen the other day while he was doing a radio interview.
Good Lord.
And now 2 Cleveland Browns players were robbed at gunpoint when they were hanging around downtown Cleveland. Jesus criminy. It was at 3:30 in the morning. Give it to him, Randy.
Oh, nothing good happens after 12:30.
That's right.
Nothing.
3:30 in the morning, these 2 players are hanging around downtown Cleveland. They were at a nightclub having a good time, and here come some guys with masks, robbed them of all their jewelry, stole their car. I love this quote. One of the players is named Perrion Winfrey. This isn't Perrion Winfrey's quote. This is a quote from Greg Newsome, Part 2, a member of the Cleveland Browns. He was quoted from the media after he had all his jewelry and his car stolen, and all he said was, "It's a cruel world that we live in."
Good thing those Vikings players are hanging out in Egan, right, Josh? Nothing bad ever happens in Egan.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, what's a hot bar in Egan? What's the hot club?
Oh, Trail Stop.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That place is awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you're right, man. It doesn't matter when you go. That place is busy.
Oh, it's busy all the time. I should hit them up for Dad Fight sponsorship, actually.
Yeah, we need one.
I thought you said one time, Josh, you were at some kind of an Egan outdoor event and you thought you were going to have to play a game of dagger tag with some teenage kids.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. There's one particular event every summer that one I'll stay away from.
Dagger tag. Oh, this is big news. Damar Hamlin, and not his body double, was back on the football field yesterday.
It's cool to see.
First full-on practice, wearing a helmet and everything.
That's awesome.
I still can't fathom that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite completely stupid conspiracy theories of all time was a few months ago when folks were saying that he had a body double. He had secretly passed away and the NFL was keeping it a secret.
Yeah, because why would they need to do that?
I loved that one.
People are so dumb.
There's a petition to get him on the cover of the new Madden game.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Man.
I was going to say there's a jinx on that, but I'm sure he probably at this point would say, you know what, I went through what I went through last year. I'll take my chances with the jinx.
Yeah, he got that over with.
Yeah.
What about it? Where were the air-conditioned nut cups? Some of our listeners are asking this morning.
I'd wear one of those just daily as a bench warmer.
Wear that to work.
All Elite Jesus says you'd wear your air-conditioned nut cup to work?
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys get warm over there or what?
I'm always warm.
It's freezing in here.
What, you're not afraid of shrinkage?
He's got no one to show it to, Randy. No one to show it to.
You kind of get to a point where shrinkage, you wouldn't notice a difference. When you start Irish, shrinkage means nothing.
Yeah. Can't get much smaller.
Air-conditioned nut cup. That would have been something. I remember a few of those football practices back when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, before school started. Yay, football, and it's 104 degrees. Can't wait.
The 3-a-days in August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brutal.
Bastards. All right, we got to get going, gentlemen. Thank you very much. And we will wrap with you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye. Okay. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
They want to glorify the fact that they're criminals. It's dumb. These guys are dumb. They deserve to be tossed under the jail just for being dumb.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like James. When he found out how much USAA was helping members save, he said,
"It's time to switch."
We'll help you find the right coverage at the right price. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. Restrictions apply.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, God. All right. Let's get back into this. We got a ways to go here. It is 8:33. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Does it smell like urine in here, Josh?
I don't think so. No, there's no reason why it would. I mean, I guess if a guy totally soaked the left half of his shorts with urine, it might smell like urine.
Dude.
Oh, no.
Like to the where like it's all just dripping wet. Yeah, it could smell like urine, but I don't think that happened today.
Josh was explaining to me off air that he had a little accident in the men's room, and God, I wish I could repeat some of the details of the story. I wish that I could repeat some of the details. He had a urinary accident. It happens. Don't look at him like that.
I guess like you've had this happen.
I was just going to say, I almost had a bad one yesterday. When I was leaving the studio, I got in the car, and I had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, hey, I live 5 minutes away. I'll be fine. There's bad accident at 94 to the point where I was just dead stopped for about 20 minutes, and I had to get to the point where I just resigned myself to my fate that there's a good chance I was about to poop my pants.
Well, this is different.
Oh, no.
I was at the urinal, and I wasn't paying attention to the direction. And one thing got stuck on a different thing, and I went straight down to my shorts.
Let me just tell you, I think I can say this much, and then we'll let it go. This was my favorite part of the story when Josh was explaining it to me off air. He picked it up kind of by the scruff. Okay.
Yeah, like a mother dog would a puppy. Mm-hmm. That's how I was holding it, and I think that was the problem.
Here's something we tried to get to yesterday, and we ran smooth out of time. I don't want to let anybody down who was listening yesterday and might be expecting us to talk about gooch grease.
Oh, no. I forgot about gooch grease.
Today. The term gooch grease was trending on godless social media this past weekend. And this was, man, I wish I had this channel. Apparently a local news station in Houston did a 7-minute segment on gooch grease. So this is all, if this is all new to you, and it was to me yesterday, gooch grease is, think swamp ass. It's described here as the culmination of lint, sweat, and other stuff that hangs around in the general area of a man's genitalia at any given time.
I don't know if I've ever found lint down there. Maybe it got sucked up somewhere. I don't know.
Now, my belly button takes care of that.
Yeah, that's where the lint comes from.
So this term might be new, but the swampy situation it's describing isn't. It's something plenty of men and women have dealt with, especially in the summer months. Like I said, think swamp ass. Happens to everybody. You can't keep things completely dry down there. And there's a buildup of, there's a substance buildup. That's gooch grease.
That's gooch grease.
Now, like I said, it's nothing wildly new. But there is one detail here that kind of put this story over the top on social media. And it discusses desperate men who don't want to ruin their underwears with gooch grease.
Mm-hmm.
So they've started putting Maxi Pads in their underwears to take care of all that moisture and awful
grease.
Sure, grease. Maxi Pads.
Huh.
Those work.
In their drawers. Are there any men in our listening audience who, oh my God, it's been a warm summer so far, And if maybe you're one of these types that works out of doors, have any of our dude listeners tried this trick with the Maxi Pads? 651-989-9393.
I haven't tried it.
That's not a bad idea if you really got a problem.
Mm-hmm. And they make I feel like when people think of Maxi Pads, they think of like the big ones.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, they actually make like thinner ones. They're just like liners. You barely even notice they're there.
Okay.
So I wonder if they're using those ones. That makes sense.
As you might imagine, I'm completely unfamiliar with 99% of female feminine hygiene products. The first time I saw one of them big bastard Maxi Pads, I thought, who is this, a pillow? What is this?
Somebody lose their parachute?
You know what I didn't realize about tampons? Where there were like different settings.
Yeah.
Where you get a box of them and there's different ones for depending on what's going on.
Yeah, crazy thing. I used to think that, I actually learned this a couple years ago. I feel so dumb. I used to think that the sizing depended on like, if you were like sexually active a lot, so you would get like the bigger size.
Sure.
Yeah, so I always...
The size of the anatomy made it.
Yeah, and so when I would see other women have like a super, their sizes are light, regular, and super. When I saw ladies with the super tampon, I'd be like, oh, she's got a big one, doesn't she? I felt so dumb.
It's like a cavern down there.
Yeah.
Everybody's had a weird ass assumption like that. Okay, so a few dudes are listening in. A few dudes are texting in. Sorry. I mentioned or I asked if any of you dudes are throwing a Maxi Pad down into your drawers to soak up the swamp ass. If any of you are doing it, let us know. A couple guys have texted in and said they've tried it. They refer to it as their man pawn.
Yep, that's funny.
Others are saying they just powder themselves into next week for those hot days of work.
I tried that. I didn't like it. It formed a paste. Maybe there's one that doesn't do that. Yeah, I was not a fan.
Did you use it to seal up some cracks in the ceiling of your home or anything like that? Like that jointless tape compound or something?
I brushed my teeth with it. This person is accurate. Gooch grease totally sounds like a wacky 90s radio personality. We worked with a gooch.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, we did. All right. So it sounds like some of you are trying it. Some of you are trying, different products. You jam it into your drawers to try to soak up all that.
I've never thought of trying it down there, but back in the day, in like high school and college, I'd put a T-shirt on and I'd pit the thing out immediately. And I actually had the thought where I should just put some pads like in my armpits to kind of soak up that sweat so I don't have that noticeable, like I just got sprayed by a hose in the armpit look that I was always rocking.
I have done that. Not like wearing them in public, but because I get in my car and usually I sweat through a shirt on my drive somewhere. So yeah, I put them in my shirt to preserve it until I got there. Yeah, it works.
I got one dude texted in and says he just straight up balls up some paper towels and throws it into his ass crack before a day of work.
I've done that before.
That's gotta be irritating.
You've done that before?
Well, toilet paper. Yeah.
Oh, toilet, but what? Because of sweat?
No, because of
Oh no.
Because of a leakage.
A leak. Here we got a guy that said he once had to see
leakage.
Dude says he once had to swipe one of his wife's Maxi Pads because he had a hemorrhoid pop on him.
Oh, what?
Yes, mine was hemorrhoid related as well.
All right, let's get away from this.
Why?
Before somebody vomits.
Yeah, good call.
Ball lotion, powder. Sorry, one more note. Dudes are saying ball lotion, powder, they're game changers. Try that route if you don't want to use the man pond. Okay, Josh. I'm a grown man over here.
I've noticed.
I can grow a beard. I can take it. You've known me for many years, so you can tell me. I have a question for you. Is there something that I say I'm good at that I'm actually not? Being probably my best friend that I've ever had, and like that, you can tell me, I can handle it. Coming from you, I won't take it personally. Is there something that I think or I say I'm good at that I'm actually not good at?
Well, I'll say this now, and I can't confirm whether it's true or it's not true. But earlier today, you did say you can pitch as good as 2 great Major League Baseball pitchers. You said you could pitch equally as well. And that seems like it's a stretch, but I haven't witnessed it, so I can't say for sure. So I can't really answer your question other than I do wonder if that's true.
Okay. What I specifically said is I think my curveball is as effective as the curveball that was thrown by Bert Blyleven in his heyday and Barry Zito's in his heyday. Okay, fair enough. I stand by that comment.
And I can't argue against it. I'm just saying it sounds a little far-fetched.
Oh, I could throw a bender. All right. What's something a lot of people think they're good at, but they aren't? Someone polled people online. You want to hear the top 10 answers?
Yes.
Something that people think they're good at, but they are not. Number 10, communicating.
No way. Darn it. I was going to say that.
What are you darn-ing about?
It was on the tip of my tongue. When you said the things that people think they're good at, the first thing I thought of was communicating.
Boy, but you couldn't communicate.
But you couldn't?
No, because I'm not good at it, Womple.
Womple, excellent. Good point.
I think I'm a pretty good communicator, but I don't. Number 9, looking cool. Hey.
Well, I know I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even try.
People think they're good at looking cool, but they are not. I don't know. I stopped worrying about looking cool a long effing time ago. 8, giving good advice. You're a great advice giver, Josh.
Oh, I don't feel that way. I was just going to say, I think I would never consider myself good at it.
Oh, you're amazing at it.
Here's the best advice I can give you. Don't listen to a word I say.
Number 7, being honest. People think they're good at being honest, but they're not. Okay. I feel like I'm a pretty honest person. 6, parenting. I don't know. I see some things from time to time. I see some things. Some parenting things where I tell myself there is no effing way I would go with that solution or that style of parent. But I don't have any effing kids. Some would say I have no room to talk on that subject. You don't know what it's like. So I don't know. You just don't even know, dude. Remember I told you about that buddy I had in college, Josh, who made a baby when he was 17. And, it happens. So by the time we were 23, he's got a 5-6-year-old kid, and he would constantly complain to us about being a parent at such a young age. And we would try, and then he'd quickly shut us down and say, you don't even know. You don't know what it's like. You can't even make a step. Well, then shut up. Then stop putting all your effort. You're voicing all these problems about being a young parent. You don't want to take any advice or any suggestions on the topic? Then why the hell are you bringing it up?
I have noticed when it, like with my wife, and I've been told this from other women, that sometimes they just want you to listen. And maybe the dude was in the same boat. But I understand you're saying you were telling me this off air, he did it all the time.
All the time. And then there was one of my buddies who blew up in a way where we dudes, his buddies, meaning the dude who had the young kid, we finally got our message to him about how we felt about this constant complaining. One of my buddies just stood up at the bar and said, well, then you should have pulled out. Jesus Christ, we're tired of hearing all these effing stories. But we don't understand.
No, you guys don't understand.
No, we don't even know.
If I bring something up, I'm hoping they'll give me their take on it. Yeah, I'd want how they feel about it.
Right.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yes, we have returned on the Half-Assed Morning Show. We're getting going here in about 5-6 minutes. We're ready to close out the show, but we're not done quite yet discussing what people think they're good at, but they aren't. What people think they're good at, but they aren't. A top 10 list was put together. Number 10 was communicating. Number 9 was looking cool. 8, giving good advice. 7, being honest. 6, parenting. We still have the top 5. Any of those first 5 that I read, does anyone think that they are really good at any of those things? Communicating, looking cool, giving good advice, being honest, and parenting.
Definitely looking cool.
Oh,
100%.
Like kind of the definition of that.
I think I'm pretty good at communicating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Josh looking cool, sunglasses on, holding a beer.
Heck
Just
yeah.
that's his definition of cool.
One of Ashley's favorite ways to communicate is the middle finger.
Yes,
true.
It says it all.
Let me dump the top 5 on you. Things that people think they're good at, but they're not. Number 5, singing, as Paul Stanley would say.
That's
Singing.
the worst.
When you're dating somebody who thinks they're a good singer and insist on singing in the car or just in general, and it just makes you want to rip your ears off. Oh,
And
man.
it's
I've been
not
in that
that
spot.
they're just like, singing in the car, like there's one way to do that, but it's like when they try really hard. It's
Yeah,
like,
when they're actually going for it.
Yeah, it's so cringy.
I love to sing. I do.
You're good at it.
Oh, thank you, Smashley. And that was excellent communication, by the way.
That was.
When you said that to me.
Although I did think it was funny you said you're a good communicator, but when I text you, I know I'm either going to respond in 5 minutes or 5 seconds or 5 days.
See, I'm not good at keeping up with communication over text or anything. Yeah, but in person, I'm pretty good.
Dana, you dated a gal who was a terrible singer, and she would insist on singing her ass off in the car.
Couldn't handle it. Road trips to the worst.
Well, didn't you ever just say, "Hey, look"?
I did at one point. I'm just like, hey, listen, like I know you like to sing, it brings it, but can you just do it when you're in the car by yourself? Because I can't handle it.
Oh, that would crush me.
I don't think I could say that to someone.
I had an interesting situation many years ago. I met a gal at a bar, and we hit it off like a sumbitch. And, this happened and that happened. And then she said, you should come see me some night. I host karaoke at a bar. I said, well, yeah, that sounds like fun. I'll come on out. I showed up at the bar, and there she was, hosting karaoke. Come on, everyone, sign up. And you know how it is at a karaoke bar. Until people sign up, the karaoke singer does all the singing. And it was brutal. Oh, no. I could not. And of course, to be a nice guy, I planted my ass right in the front. Hey, it's me. Remember, you told me. And she starts singing, and it was painfully bad. And now I'm trying not to laugh in her face.
That bad?
Oh, my damn cubby.
No.
It was brutal. I got drunk that night. I had to. I came about this close to walking up to the bar manager and saying, "Why did you hire her?
Does she
terrible."
know, hey, I'm not the greatest singer? Oh, boy.
I mean, and she was, way into it.
Just dancing.
And holding these notes that were just sour as
How do people not know?
They're tone deaf, I guess.
Yeah.
Must be.
I mean, she was good looking. Very good looking. So I think that's why the bar manager said, sure, I'll hire you for whatever you want to do. That's probably what happened. Oh, number 4, something that we think we're good at, but we aren't. Being humble. I think I'm the best in the business at being humble.
Oh, my gosh. You always say that.
I try my hardest.
Being humble. Number 3 is staying out of drama.
Anytime somebody says, I don't do drama, they do drama.
Yeah, they're the leader in the drama. I love hearing about people's drama. I want to know what's going on. Tell me the dirty details.
Do you like that whole scene? You like to learn about, oh, God, did you hear what happened with that couple? Did you hear what you like that?
Heck yeah. I don't get I usually don't dive in and, I'm like, oh, yeah, I hate Becky too, but I like hearing about it.
I don't like hearing about any of that stuff at all. And I think because I come from a family with a few gossipers and that are really into it.
Yeah.
And so I'm so tuned out. But I will say sometimes someone will bring something up, and I'm like, they did? They were? And everybody had known this for a long time, right. And I'm way late to the party on it.
Okay, so I've got friends who, they just thrive on gossip and drama. They love it. You can be in an in-depth conversation with them face-to-face at the bar. And if it sounds like a couple is arguing 100 feet away, they will break that conversation with you to, what's going on over there?
Oh, that's a little too much.
But here's the deal. And specifically talking about, say, bar drama, where a couple is arguing or a couple guys start arguing. Here, of course, those people annoy me. Take it outside, whatever. You're having some relationship problems. Get out of here. Don't do that. What bothers me more than anything is, and everyone's seen this, you know that person who strides in all arrogantly because they're going to solve this problem?
Oh, yeah.
That's the person I want to say, get out of here, because you think you're going to make it better. You're only going to make it worse. Yep. But they have that air about them like, okay, hang on a second. What's the problem? Mm-hmm. Shut up, you.
There's a particular person I can think of who, if Nick and I, let's say, for example, are having a conversation across the room, this person will say, wait, what's that? I mean, they're not involved. They're all the way on the other side of the room. They're not involved at all in the conversation.
People think they're good at staying out of drama. They're not. Number two, we're almost to the tippy top. Number two, and I got this texted into me quite a few times. You guys want to guess what it is? Something that a lot of us believe we're good at, but we're not.
Well, I can tell you the top two people are texting in, and sex was one of them.
You know what's funny? I got a text from Mediocre Machinist Jesus, and he said, people think they're good at sex, but they aren't. I'll tell you what, Mediocre Machinist Jesus, I'd like to try and prove you wrong.
That'd be hot.
Let's make this happen.
I'll bang that opinion right out of you. I'll tell you. Sex? No, that's not it.
Well, that's driving.
Driving.
Yes. Good one.
A lot of people think they're great drivers, and they suck. And number one is being a good listener. Being a good listener.
I could be better at that.
What was that?
I try and be, but I could definitely be better.
You're a terrific listener.
Well, there's times, I got to say, there's a couple people that I tune out immediately.
Well, that's only natural.
And usually they're younger people. And there's one, my stepdaughter, this is well known. I'm not breaking any news to her. I'll say, I'm sorry, I didn't pay any attention to what you just said. I'll totally tune out. And I've done that to her so many times.
Does she drone on and on? Does she go on and on?
No, not really. It'll just be a topic or something. But yeah, she's like, and now she'll call me out on it. You didn't hear a word I said, did you?
I saw her a couple of days ago. I drove out of there before she got me involved in a conversation. She goes,
she'll hold you there.
Oh, my damn.
She'll hold you. And you won't know what the heck you talked about.
No, not a clue. Being a good listener is number one answer.
Happy 21st birthday to the Ginger Jesus from Second Fish Jesus and the fellas at work. Have a happy and sexy hump day, and see you tomorrow.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.